Chapter 705. The cause of the incident was that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan wanted to turn Baoxing County into a Shang County. They needed to keep up with the population. If they wanted to increase the population, they needed to have a good economy. Furthermore, education and medical care could also play a big role. The two of them wanted to bring a river over. There was a small river here, but boats couldn't travel on it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have to dig a well to get water for irrigation. Not far from Baoxing County, there was a big river called Ru River. It was a very big river, but it wasn't in Baoxing County. Instead, it was in Xiankai County. Occasionally, there would be people fishing on the river when there weren't many boats coming and going. There were also many boats that specialized in transportation, so the flow of traffic was very large. After bringing the river over, there wouldn't be much of an impact on the downstream. It could even allow people who wanted to visit Baoxing County to come over by boat. Only by thinking of the customers would they be able to take the business away. The two of them originally wanted to use administrative means to solve the problem, which was to submit a report to the imperial court. Then, the imperial court would send someone over to talk about this matter. However, if that was the case, Xiankai County wouldn't get any credit. If they cooperated well, they would be following orders. If they didn't, they would have to bear the responsibility. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't want to do that. They planned to go to Xiankai County personally to talk to the officials of Xiankai County. They wanted to talk to each other and put the matter on the table. In the end, Old Man Pai took over the matter. He said that he would send his family to ask about the situation first. If the other party agreed, he would go over. He didn't want to embarrass the other party if they didn't give him face if he rushed over. After sending people over, they came back saying that they failed. Old Man Pai couldn't help but be angry. He thought that the other party didn't give him face. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan wanted to know what the officials of Xiankai County were thinking. Were they preparing to get benefits, or were they just targeting the two of them? As soon as the two of them returned to the yamen, they applied for leave from He Wei. They only needed to take 3 days off. They still had enough time to play in Xiankai County for 2 days. Now, the officials in the yamen had never taken a break. They wholeheartedly devoted themselves to the construction of Baoxing County. They vowed to turn Baoxing County from Zhongxian to Shangxian so that they could pay more tax to the imperial court. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also did not hide this matter from He Wei. He Wei very happily allowed the two of them to have a 3-day fight. The two of them then led the first unit of the seedling protection team, 100 people, and set off on horseback, heading towards the northeast direction at full speed. Cuckoo, don't you think we brought too many people? It's a bit of a nuisance. Zhang Xiaobao rode his horse and galloped on the road, stirring up clouds of dust. Although there were only 100 or so horses, their momentum was not small. The commoners in front all gave way and stood to the side to eat the dust. Not much. We're our identities now. If we brought too few people, it's very likely that a spy from another country hiding in Tang will have a chance to make a move. We are in the open while they are in the dark. It's very easy for something to happen. The commoners should bear with it for now. Once the water is brought over, their lives will be better. Wang Wan glanced at the commoners who avoided the dust and said to Zhang Xiaobao, perhaps the commoners were already used to it, so they really did not care. They did not even cover their mouths to block the dust. Instead, they were very curious about Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's trip. When the dust had settled, they still stood there and looked in the direction that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan left. There were others beside them who said a few words, guessing what Xiaobao and Cuckoo were doing. Baoxing County and Xinsai County were very close to each other. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's cavalry only took 4 hours to reach the place, and they were still not fast enough. They walked forward and came to the Rushui River. Looking at the boats shuttling back and forth on the river, the two of them searched for a while but did not find a bridge. Perhaps it was because it was not easy to build a bridge. The Rushui River's current was not small, and a simple rope bridge could be built between the two banks. However, there were probably not many people coming and going, and the boats were constantly moving, so no one built it. When the boatman on the river saw the approaching group, he raised his voice and asked if they wanted a boat. There were many people and many horses. The boatman found another boat, and the two boats began to move back and forth. The trip was really not easy. 100 people and 100 horses? It took half an hour to reach the other side of the river. At this time, there were many commoners on the other side of the river who were watching the show. To be precise, they were waiting for the boats. This river is really good. When we reach Baoshin County, the place where the water is diverted will be more lively. When the time comes, we will think of a way to build a bridge so that people can comfortably watch the boats coming and going. Zhang Xiaobao did not forget to look back at the river and praise it as he urged his horse forward. Then you have to get them to agree to divert the water first. Have you thought about it carefully? Are you sure you don't want to use administrative means directly? As Wang Wan spoke, she slowed down when she passed by a woman who was carrying a child. She took out a piece of fruit candy from her pocket and bent down to stuff it into the mouth of the child who was curiously looking at her. When the child was drooling and staring at the candy, she caught up with Zhang Xiaobao. The child's mother was surprised for a moment, but she was not worried anymore. She felt that the little girl on the horse did not look like a bad person. Moreover, people who could lead such a large group would not hurt their own child. The current public security was still pretty good. She thanked them from afar and carried the child as she walked. She said that she had met a benefactor today and that something good would definitely happen. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan rushed for another hour and finally entered the county town of Xinsai County. They dismounted and pulled the reins as they walked and looked around. They looked at the shops on both sides of the main street, felt the ground under their feet, and observed the clothes and facial expressions of the people passing by. Xiaobao, it seems that Xinsai County is not bad. At least the people are doing well. It is much better than when we first arrived at Baoshin County. It is not a prosperous place, but it can still be like this. The officials must have worked hard. After looking around, Wang Wan praised the officials of Xinsai County. Zhang Xiaobao was a little disapproving. It is so close to such a big river, and it is also an important place. It would be strange if it is poor. Besides, it may not be the work of one official. It will naturally be prosperous after generations. The two talked and looked around as they walked. Asking for directions was done by others. In fact, they didn't need to ask much. Generally, the county yamen was beside the main street. As for whether it looked good or not, it depended on whether the officials repaired the yamen. This time, it didn't take long for the group to arrive at the yamen of Xinsai County. There was also a drum at the entrance of Xinsai County. The drum was very old, but it could still be beaten. The door of the yamen was open, but it was not broken. Two yamen runners were standing on both sides of the door, chatting idly. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's group arrived, the two yamen runners glanced at them. When they saw that no one was wearing an official's uniform, they ignored them and continued chatting. Please help to inform them that Baoshin County's Registrar Zhang Xiaobao and Deputy County Magistrate Wang are on vacation. They are passing by this place and would like to see Lord Feng. Zhang Xiaobao took out his and Wang Wan's name cards, walked in front of a yamen runner, and handed them to him. He didn't ask his subordinates to give them to him to show the seriousness of the etiquette. The yamen runner who was given the name cards by Zhang Xiaobao was stunned. He carefully looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, then said, "Wait," and turned to report. He didn't seem to have a good attitude. The other yamen runner also looked at them indifferently. He didn't say anything and didn't do anything else. The look in his eyes showed that he believed Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's identities. It was estimated that the two people's unique age advantage made it easy for others to believe them. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan stood outside and watched the yamen of Xiankai County. They waited for a quarter of an hour. Not only County Magistrate Feng Changgong didn't come out, but the yamen runner who just entered also seemed to have disappeared. Even the two officials didn't come to see them. Wang Wan was a little unhappy. If the master didn't come out and was busy, at least let the yamen runner come out and say something. Or let them wait for a while, or go to another place to rest. What was the meaning of this? At this time, the weather was very hot. The group and the horses were very uncomfortable standing under the sun. Zhang Xiaobao didn't say anything and continued to watch the passers-by. He was also watched by others. After waiting for another quarter of an hour, there was still no one inside. Zhang Xiaobao thought for a while and said to Wang Wan, Why don't we find a place to rest first and wait for County Magistrate Feng to finish his work? Or we can wait until dusk when he doesn't want to work. Wang Wan nodded helplessly. Okay, I don't know if there's a better place here. Anyway, we'll be in Xian Kai for 2 days. It's convenient to find a place to rest first. As they talked, the two were ready to pull their horses and lead the group to find a restaurant or inn to rest. At this time, the Yamen runner who just entered finally came out with Zhang Xiaobao's goods and Wang Wan's name tags in his hands. He said to the two of them, "The county magistrate isn't here. If there's anything, come back tomorrow. The county is short of water recently. The magistrate must have gone to see the river." Zhang Xiaobao calmly took back the name tags and said to the Yamen runner, "When you bring County Magistrate Feng back, tell him that there's a lucrative business coming." Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not believe that County Magistrate Feng was not here. He just did not want to see the two of them, but they felt uncomfortable. If he did not want to see them, he should have told them earlier. Why did he make them wait for so long outside? Leading the horses, the group began to look for a place to rest. On the way here, there was a restaurant that looked good. If they continued to walk forward and could not find a better restaurant, they would turn back. After Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan left, the two Yamen runners began to talk about what had just happened. The Yamen runner who stayed here asked the one who went in, "Why were you gone for so long?" "I went to the back to rest for a while. After a short nap, I went to find the master. The master said that he did not want to see me and asked me to say what I said just now. I would not let them leave so soon. If they want to rob our business, we have to let them suffer more. Just now, when you were outside, they were very anxious, right?" The Yamen runner who went in said to the Yamen runner who stayed outside with a smile. The Yamen runner who stayed outside was obviously a little dissatisfied. If he had known earlier, he would have gone in and slept for a while. Now that others had taken advantage of him, he listened to the Yamen runner's question and said, "They did not look anxious. When they were waiting there, they were quite leisurely. If what you did today was known to them, you would be in trouble. You dare to play tricks on the officials. Today, you can treat me to a meal later, but I won't say it. They are now on holiday and have nothing important to do. Otherwise, why would they give me a name tags instead of an official card? They are not wearing their official robes, so I'm not afraid. Last time, you still owe me 2 meals. Just right. I will treat you today. You can treat later." The Yamen runner who went in did not compromise at all. Seeing that no one was paying attention, he leaned against the door at the back and closed his eyes to continue sunbathing. Perhaps he did not sleep enough and was sleepy again. When the Yamen runner who stayed outside saw that his threat had failed and he had lost a meal, he said regretfully, "If I had known earlier, I would have asked them for some money. If they did not give it, I would not have helped to inform them. Don't you think you are becoming more and more foolish? You can't even do such a small thing well. Otherwise, why would I need to pay for it? Let's make a deal. The 2 debts in the past will be counted as 1 today. It is still the small shop from before. It cannot be changed. It is all your fault that you did not get the money. They are very powerful outside, but when they return to the Tang Empire, aren't they obedient? The master keeps saying that they will rob our business. What business do you think it is? They want to lead the water over. Of course, it is the ferry business. Why is there not a bridge here? Originally, there was a wooden bridge that had not been repaired for many years. In addition, someone probably destroyed it. Now, we can only rely on the ferry business. Last month, there were a total of 12 ferry boats, and the tax paid was 6 strings of coins. If we let people lead the water over, wouldn't it mean that there are people from other places rowing boats over here? Naturally, we can't let them ruin the business. As for asking for money, I don't dare. I was just informing them normally. If I took the money, they are likely to remember me when they are rejected. When the time comes, they will complain that I have taken the money. That is their best excuse. I'm not stupid." The Yamen runner who went and found an excuse for himself. After saying these words, he kept muttering about what he wanted to eat later. When he heard the names of 2 dishes, the Yamen runner who stayed outside did not listen. "I did not say that I would treat you to so much. In the past, we ate what we ate. If you're not stupid, then there are no fools in this world. Do you want to rob a business just for 6 strings of coins? In my opinion, it must be a big business, a very big one. Let's wait and see." The Yamen runner who stayed outside also wanted to lean against the door for a while like the other Yamen runner, but he could not squeeze in the door. He swayed back and forth, which was very uncomfortable. He could only yawn and spread his legs to stand more comfortably. Yes, yes, no, no. You keep watch. I will sleep for a while so that I have the energy to drink. The Yamen runner who went and closed his eyes tightly and fell asleep while enjoying the warmth of the sun. It seemed that he had trained the ability to sleep often and could sleep like this. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang, one who were looking for a place to stay, walked forward. After walking for about 500 steps, they finally saw another inn. It was similar to the one they saw before. The two were not willing to walk back, so they chose to stay here. They asked people to arrange 2 big courtyards and looked after the horses. They went in and casually ordered a few dishes. As for the people who followed them, they would go and order their own food. Xiaobao, do you see anything? Is it that Feng Changgong does not like us? He is obviously inside, but he made us wait for such a long time. He is obviously looking down on us. Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao did not order wine. She saw a plate with a lot of soup, so she poured it into her bowl and swallowed it. She asked Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao also felt uncomfortable in his heart. After all, the sun was not weak outside, and they came all the way here. He was already tired, and now he was even more tired. When he heard Wang Wan's question, he replied, "We don't need to wait until tomorrow. We will sleep first. At night, we will ask people to prepare a gift to see if he likes money." I don't think so. If he really likes money, then he should have come out to welcome us. Who doesn't know that we are rich? He must think that he is only a 7th grade official. It is not easy for him to get such a position after living for so long, but his 2 children are already 9th grade officials. This is called jealousy. He is jealous of our future achievements, so he found a reason to not agree to let us use the river. Hurry up and use your idea. If I am not treated well this time, I will not let them have an easy time when they come to find us. Wang Wan was very vengeful. Today, she hated Feng Changgong. She was determined to get back at him in the future instead of using people to do it now. Zhang Xiaobao nodded and said, "Don't worry. It is useless to be anxious about this kind of thing. Besides, he does have a reason to not be afraid of us. After all, Kai County is an important place. In fact, in my opinion, it is the same as ours, a middle county. The population is obviously not enough. Isn't it just a river? Who says it isn't? In fact, if we check normally now, Kai County is written as a middle county in the book. It is a waste to let them use the Ru River. They have such a good resource, but they don't know how to develop it properly." Wang Wan was really hungry. After talking to Zhang Xiaobao, she stopped talking and ate with all her might. After a while, a bowl of rice was in her stomach. She felt that it was not full enough, so she asked the waiter to bring her another bowl. She put half of the rice in her bowl and poured the rest into Zhang Xiaobao's bowl. She said, "I think the best gift is money. Give him a cart full of money and see if he will accept it. If we can't reach an agreement with him, it'll be very easy for him to use this to impeach us. Zhang Shao might even use this as an excuse to attack us. Even if Longji manages to suppress him in the end, he'll still write us a letter to let us know that he's helping us, and that he's been of great help." Zhang Xiaobao said and began to eat faster. He didn't eat much and just stared at the food. When he was almost full, there were still 2 mouthfuls of rice left. He forced himself to eat it, rubbed his stomach, burped, and went back to the place where he slept. He directly lay on the bed. In the Yamen of Lai County, the county magistrate Feng Changgong was discussing something with the secretary and the county magistrate. They were talking about the arrival of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. County Magistrate Feng first told him what he had said today, and then said, "I guess they are waiting anxiously, so they came in person." Think about it. Do you really want them to lead the water to Lai County? I think we still can't agree. It doesn't matter whether they lead the water or not, but once they do, the lives of the people in their county will be better, and the people in our county will easily go to their side. At that time, not to mention keeping the middle county, it is likely that we will fall to the lower county. The population of the county will soon be enough. Once it is enough, this county will no longer be middle county, but upper county. Our class will also be promoted. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's family is powerful, so we can't compromise with them. Otherwise, there will be no hope for us in this life. The secretary picked up the tea and held it in his hand without drinking. He talked about his opinion. The county magistrate next to him also supported this matter and said, I also don't think we can get the benefits we deserve by doing things with them, unless they're willing to send us to the capital to be officials. Otherwise, we will never agree to let them lead the water to Xian Lai County. Once they lead the water to Xian Lai County, it is also convenient for the people in our county to go there. I think the current situation is pretty good. The people coming from Rushui who want to go to Baoxin County must stop at this county first, and then they can change to the overland route. I think we should do as Darren suggested, build a pier by Yuha. When the time comes, we can build a beautiful restaurant on the pier. Just like what Zhang Zhong did in Wangjiang County of Shuzhou, he built a bridge and then built a restaurant on an island that is not close to each other. He made a lot of money. When we also open a restaurant, even if we have to buy it with money, we must buy the population of less than 5,000 people. We can't just build a restaurant, but also let the people in our county set up stalls next to the restaurant. This way, we can collect more taxes and arrange for people we like to go there to make money. It can be said that Zhang Zhong is a local official. Didn't he let the people do things and find things for the people to make the county prosperous? If he can do it, so can we. The registrar official added again. Hearing the two people's words, County Magistrate Feng felt that it was very reasonable, but he always felt that something was going to happen. The most important thing now was to pull in hundreds of people from other places. As long as the number of people was enough, he could apply to make Zhong County online. Although it was an important place now, the official's expression did not change because of whether it was important or not. He had inexplicable concerns in his heart, so he said to the two people, I always feel that things are not that simple. What if Zhang Xiaobao plays tricks? If we submit a memorial to the imperial court and insist on leading the current Rushui to Baoxin County, can we stop him? Don't underestimate them. You're right, sir. We can't underestimate them. Last time, the people sent by Biga's family may also find a chance to take revenge. Recently, nothing can happen. Be steady, we must be steady. The registrar official flattered County Magistrate Feng again, which made him very happy, but he said a little arrogantly, don't underestimate them. Don't be afraid of them. At the same time, don't forget to be vigilant against them and don't be fooled in the end. If they come and say that they want to do business together, we can't agree. Even if they send money, we can't accept it casually. Otherwise, they will take advantage of us. The three people discussed together and soon reached an offensive and defensive alliance that they thought was beneficial to them. Once there was a bigger conflict, they had to unite together. They could not let one person bear it alone. Chapter 706. When night came, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, who had just woken up, went out with two people, not forgetting to bring gifts. On the way, Wang Wan asked Zhang Xiaobao, what's your plan for bringing him food? It's okay if it's good stuff, but why do you have to buy food from ordinary people? Can he eat it? I want to see what kind of person he is and whether he's worth my efforts. If he's just not afraid of power, even you and I won't take a liking to him. I'll help him and get him to the censorate. He'll do something there. It's better to have a different voice in this country. If he's just putting on an act and doesn't really care about the people, then there's no need for him to stay in this position. First, he offended Grandpa Bai. Then he offended you and me. How can we let him go? Zhang Xiaobao explained to Wang Wan. Wang Wan opened the box next to her and said with a smile, you're a powerful person. You're very unreasonable and not a good person. If someone offends you slightly, you'll make it difficult for them. If I have the ability to be powerful, why can't I be powerful? What's more, I don't have power over the people. Li Longji isn't powerful? Zhang Shua isn't powerful, and our Yao Chong isn't powerful? According to what you said, no one in this world with a little ability is a good person. Why don't you talk to him nicely, and I'll wait for your good news outside. Zhang Xiaobao was really like what he thought. If Feng Changgong didn't satisfy him, he would get rid of him. Of course, he wouldn't directly find Li Longji to impeach him, but through other means. After all, he needed to find a good reason to impeach him. Wang Wan was just saying, she was a powerful person. She looked at the night and said, The night here is really good. It's better than Suzhou. Of course, it's not as good as Sanshui County. If we can build a good restaurant near the Ru River and draw water to form a small lake, the night will be bright. In this kind of night, the stars are sparse, the moon is bright, and the lights of the ships are bright. It is really a beautiful scene. Find more craftsmen to help build a small bridge. I estimate that the tax collected in one night will not be small. Very soon, this place will become a county. Many people will break their heads to come here, and Feng Changgong will be promoted. Wang once said so. She really didn't expect that the most powerful of the three officials in Xinsai County really wanted to turn Zhongxian into Shangxian and be promoted. However, the three people didn't have the ability to accumulate experience like her and Zhang Xiaobao. She didn't know that many times, after seeing a certain situation, they could immediately find a feasible way to apply it. At this time, it was already night, and the front door was closed. Unless it was a very important matter, no one would go to the front door. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan went to the back door of the yamen and asked someone to knock on the door, saying that they wanted to see County Magistrate Feng. Feng Changgong didn't find an excuse to not see them this time, but he didn't come out to greet them. He sat in the study and asked someone to bring them in. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan entered the study room, Feng Changgong was holding a book and reading it. Zhang Xiaobao didn't know if he could read it. Anyway, Zhang Xiaobao didn't think he could read the contents of the book because there was only a small oil lamp. It was still far away, so he couldn't see the words in the book. Zhang Xiaobao asked someone to send the box to the servant, and then he said to Feng Changgong, "Greetings, County Magistrate Feng. I didn't expect that County Magistrate Feng is still studying poetry. You are very respectable." He was younger than his biological age, but at this time, he had to learn to speak like an adult. This was not the case of a junior meeting an elder. They were on the same level, and they were all officials. At this time, Wang Wan also said, "I wonder if County Magistrate Feng has eaten dinner yet. We brought some side dishes for Lord Feng." Speaking of side dishes, Wang Wan wanted to laugh. The food Zhang Xiaobao bought at a high price was really good. Feng Changgong couldn't pretend that he didn't see them this time. He acted as if he had just found Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. He hurriedly put down the book and said, "I didn't expect that County Magistrate Wang and Registrar Zhang would come so late at night. When I finished my work outside, someone reported to me. I thought it was dark, so I planned to visit you tomorrow, but you two actually came. You even brought food. I'm so sorry, so sorry. Come on, please sit down. Come on, serve tea. Please." Although he said please sit down, he didn't sit on the chairs that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan usually used, but on a futon. Feng Changgong didn't have a chair himself. He just put a small table in front of him. Soon, the servants served tea to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, and also put a small table in front of them. They respectfully left and closed the door. Zhang Xiaobao picked up the tea bowl, but didn't drink it. He looked at Feng Changgong and said, "County Magistrate Feng is really devoted to the people. When I came here in the daytime, I heard many people say good things about County Magistrate Feng. I wonder how County Magistrate Feng did when you looked at the water in the daytime." "Oh, it's difficult. The county is short of water, and there's only one river. Obviously, it's not enough. I can't think of a good way at the moment. I can only look at the water every day and try to think as much as possible. If there's a little idea that can make the people's life better, I will be satisfied. I heard that Registrar Zhang is very resourceful. I wonder if you can help me think of a way. I'll wait for the people in the county to thank me first. Oh, and County Magistrate Wang, I also need to help a little." Feng Changgong heard the reproach in Zhang Xiaobao's words, but he didn't care. He emphasized that the county was short of water, and he was lying through his teeth. Zhang Xiaobao's impression of him suddenly became bad. What kind of reason was this? Was it because he looked down on him and Wang Wan that he was obviously making things up? Zhang Xiaobao glanced at Wang Wan and saw that Wang Wan was staring at the tea bowl. He said, "When I came here, I saw that the Rushui River was not bad. There shouldn't be a shortage of water. Is it possible that the Rushui River can't supply the entire Xinsai County? To be honest, the real shortage of water is in Baoxin County. This time, we came here to discuss with County Magistrate Feng about the diversion of water. Once the diversion is successful, Not only will the people in Baoxin County have better lives, but the people in Xinsai County will also have better lives. What do you think, County Magistrate Feng? Zhang Xiaobao didn't want to beat around the bush anymore. He directly pointed out the purpose of his visit and wanted to see how Feng Changgong would answer. Wang Wan didn't look at the tea bowl this time. She added, County Magistrate Feng, you probably haven't thought of the benefits of diverting water to Baoxin County. I'll talk to County Magistrate Feng now. If you divert the river, you can let the model land in Baoxin County receive more guests. If people come from the Rushui River, they can directly go to the model land. If there are more guests, you can build a sightseeing land between the two counties or at the place where the Rushui River is diverted, so that people who have finished visiting the model land can find a new sightseeing land. At that time, not only can it provide more income for the people in your county who can't find work, but it can also increase your county's tax revenue. You can even build a night market there for people to trade. You can also look for memorable handmade products in your county to buy and sell. It can also improve the economy of the two counties. If it's possible, County Magistrate Wang's idea is good, but many things can't be done with just a seemingly good idea. There are too many things involved. There are many people coming and going between the two counties, but with so many people coming and going, it's not easy to manage. We don't have enough Yamen runners, and we can't let the Yamen runners from Baoxin County work in our county. It's very, very difficult. County Magistrate Wang just said that he would bring me some food. Coincidentally, I'm a little hungry now. Why don't we try it together? When I go to Baoxin County next time, I'll definitely bring some food for you too. Before Wang Wan finished talking about the specific plan, Feng Changgong suddenly interrupted Wang Wan very rudely and changed the topic to food. Wang Wan was interrupted, so she didn't say anything. She signaled Zhang Xiaobao to do the talking, while she drank tea and chatted. Zhang Xiaobao's impression of Feng Changgong became worse. When Feng Changgong's servant brought the food to Feng Changgong's small table, he said, It's not delicious food. We just happened to pass by a family, so we bought it by the way. We just ate and didn't eat it. Then I'll monopolize it. Feng Changgong didn't know what was in the box. He first opened the first box, and there was a rice ball in it. To be exact, it was a vegetable ball. It was stuck in the pot with wild vegetables and noodles, and it was a little mushy. Seeing the rice ball, Feng Changgong was unhappy. He thought that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan deliberately came here to laugh at him. So he took off the top layer of the rice ball, revealing the soup of wild vegetables. It was really wild vegetables, and there was no oil at all. Feng Changgong glanced at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, but did not say anything. He continued to open the second box. This time, there were no wild vegetables inside, at least not on the top. Instead, there were two dishes. The first dish was 4 sparrows, which could be seen, especially the heads. The second dish was a worm that was not too big, the larvae of silkworms. They were green and a little black, which was disgusting to look at. He took off the top layer again, revealing the 2 dishes below. One was a wild vegetable with a little fat, and the other was a kind of wild vegetable that could always be seen by the river. There were a total of 4 dishes and 1 soup, plus the staple rice ball. Looking at these dishes, Feng Changgong asked with a sullen face, I wonder what Registrar Zhang and County Magistrate Wang mean? Do you want to make fun of me with these dishes? County Magistrate Feng, just say that you don't like them. What do you mean by making fun of you? If you don't want to eat them, you can send them to us. We just came here in the evening and haven't eaten enough. Zhang Xiaobao had a 60% idea in his mind that he was going to punish Feng Changgong. He didn't want to eat these dishes, especially the sparrows and silkworms, which were all good things, and the wild vegetables were also green food. When he went to buy them, the family said that he was in a good time to eat so many good things. He gave Feng Changgong one last chance to see if he could grasp it. While talking, Zhang Xiaobao went to take the dishes himself. There was only a pair of chopsticks, so he picked up the food and fed it to Wang Wan. They ate happily in front of Feng Changgong. After a few mouthfuls, Zhang Xiaobao said to Feng Changgong, County Magistrate Feng, you may think that these dishes are not good, but when I went to buy them, they were the best things in their houses. Except that the cooking skills are not as good as that of the chef, they are really good. What do you think, County Magistrate Feng? I think that since the food can be eaten by the people, the officials can also eat it. If you don't know the suffering of the people, how can you work for the people? Yes, you can take them back and eat them slowly. As for whether I can work or not, you don't have to worry about it. Registrar Zhang, don't you think that you're meddling too much? It's late at night. Forgive me for working hard in the daytime and can't accompany you. Take care. Feng Changgong's face was so gloomy that it was going to rain. He was taught a lesson by a little kid today and was driving them away. Zhang Xiaobao took 2 more boxes and put the unfinished food in them one by one. He said to Wang Wan, "There will be supper tonight. Since County Magistrate Feng is very tired, why don't we go back now?" "Well, County Magistrate Feng, sorry for bothering you today." Wang Wan picked up a box and said to Feng Changgong. Before leaving, she looked at County Magistrate Feng with pity in her eyes. She admitted that Zhang Xiaobao's meddling was indeed too broad, and his reach was a little too far. But so what? Zhang Xiaobao's personality was like that. Besides, who said that others were not allowed to meddle? In public, it was for the people. In private, it was to vent the anger of waiting for half an hour in the daytime. The 2 people left Feng Changgong's house without being sent off. They walked on the road without streetlights. The 2 people behind them didn't want to break the quiet atmosphere. After walking 100 steps, Wang Wan asked Zhang Xiaobao, "When will we do it?" "We'll do it tomorrow. Since he can't be a good official and won't let us guide the river, then we'll change to a better one." "How dare he say that I'm meddling too much?" Zhang Xiaobao said unhappily. "Not at all. You're just using your identity as a county's registrar to teach another county's county magistrate a lesson. How can that be considered too much? Then what were you in the past?" Wang Wan said with a smile. "That's right. Not at all. Tomorrow, I'll ask Li Longji to be an imperial censor. Let's see who still dares to say that about me. As the registrar, I have the responsibility to supervise. Who cares which county it is? In the past, there were people who chased after me across provinces." Zhang Xiaobao was determined to continue meddling. After Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan left, Feng Changgong sat alone in the study room. The more he thought about it, the angrier he got. Today, not only was he questioned, but he was also played. Who dared to treat him like this in Xiankai County? "No, I can't let this go. I won't let you guide the river." Feng Changgong slapped the small table and said angrily. He originally wanted to send people to capture the 2 people and then teach them a lesson. However, when he thought about the 100 mounted guards Wang Wan brought, he dismissed the idea. He originally wanted to sleep, but now he couldn't sleep. He ordered people to invite the registrar and county magistrate to discuss the matter. He had to find trouble for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Feng Changgong's call came at the right time. The registrar of Xiankai County and the county magistrate were not resting either. The 2 of them were drinking together. They arrived at the same time and asked people to serve the wine and dishes. "Sir, you don't want to rest early?" The registrar asked Feng Changgong as soon as he entered the study room. "I want to sleep, but I was almost angered to death just now. I can't sleep." Feng Changgong repeated what Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan said to the 2 people. After he finished speaking, he was still panting. It was obvious that he was even angrier. "How dare they come here? This is really too much. Sir, why don't you think a way to teach them a lesson? I'll ask the Yamen runners to investigate." The registrar was also very angry. He was about to leave as he spoke, but he didn't leave quickly. He gave the others time to stop him. As expected, the county magistrate stopped him. "How can the Yamen runners beat them? We should plan for the long term so that we won't be taken advantage of and ruin the big thing in Xiankai County." "That's right. Come. Let's drink and discuss while we eat." Feng Changgong couldn't really let the registrar go out. If this kind of conflict really happened, the first one to be unlucky would be him and the others. After the registrar sat down angrily again, Feng Changgong said, "The first thing to do is to prevent Baoxin County from diverting the water, no matter what. The second thing is to quickly gather enough people in the county to avoid trouble. As for the third thing, you 2 should think about it more." Feng Changgong couldn't think of 2 points. He couldn't think of any. The registrar and the county magistrate also didn't have any good ideas. The 2 of them felt that the usual way to deal with people didn't seem to work on Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. They had connections in the capital. Although the 3 of them also had connections, Their connections wouldn't take the initiative to provoke them for such a thing. After eating for a while, the registrar finally came up with a good idea. He said to Feng Changgong and the county magistrate, "Why don't we send people to the county and the counties around Baoxin County to say that Baoxin County wants to become a prefecture? Say that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan feel that their positions are too low. I believe that there will be people impeaching them." No, no, no. How can other people believe it? Why don't we change another one? Why don't we say that Baoxin County wants to divert water so that other people can't use it? Also, they don't want to continue farming and only want to do business. The county magistrate rejected the registrar's idea and put forward his own idea. However, Feng Changgong and the registrar shook their heads at the same time. Feng Changgong said, "This won't work. It won't affect other counties. Besides, other people are not stupid. How can they not know that the water in Ru River is enough?" After saying this, Feng Changgong's eyes suddenly lit up. He said, "I have an idea. Come closer." While the three of them were thinking of ideas, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan also returned to the courtyard. Zhang Xiaobao sat there and thought for a while. Then he said to the guard standing at the door, "Find 2 more people. I have something to ask you to do. Remember to be discreet when you do it. Don't let other people find out." Chapter 707. How difficult was it to attack and annihilate each other in a single day? Set the chain link, take pity on the people, and treat them as the heavens. The night with turbulent undercurrents passed by as the first ray of sunlight reflected the red clouds. Feng Changgong and Zhang Xiaobao's plan was put into motion at the same time. All the yamen runners in Kai County were mobilized, and notices were posted at the most eye-catching places in the county. Wang Dui, who was preparing to go to the 5 mu of soybean fields early to take a look, carried a wooden bucket in one hand and a hoe in the other and set off. After walking for a li, he was about to turn a corner when he suddenly saw a lot of people on the main road. Out of curiosity, he went over. After squeezing left and right, he finally saw the situation inside. There was a sign here, and a piece of yellow paper was pasted on it. There were words on the paper, written one after another. It looked very beautiful. As for what was written, he didn't know. "What's the matter?" Wang Dui didn't understand, so he asked the people around him, "Isn't it written here? This county is about to become an upper county." The yamen found a Taoist priest and told him that we shouldn't move the land in the next 3 months to avoid provoking the Lord of the Earth. The number of ferries in the Rushui River will be reduced by half to avoid provoking the Water Dragon King. It also said that we shouldn't move or migrate, especially to the southwest. Before the person Wang Du's asked could say anything, someone on the other side told him. In fact, this person wasn't literate. He just stood there waiting for others to ask. Wang Dui was worried. "My family's land is in the southwest. Can I go and take care of it? I haven't seen the beans for a few days, so I need to water them." "Then go secretly. Don't let the Lord of the Earth know." The person who answered him gave him an idea. Wang Dui deeply agreed and thanked him. While no one was paying attention, he walked quietly to his family's soybean fields, nagging, "I only water and weed, I don't move the land. Don't be angry, Lord of the Earth." It was indeed convenient to do things with administrative power. It only took a day for everyone in Kai County to know about this matter. The number of people who went out decreased, and those who wanted to move stopped. Those who wanted to find time to develop wastelands did not dare to move. The number of boats that used to rely on ferrying on the river decreased by half, and they took turns to do so. Pedestrians on both sides of the river had to wait even longer before they could cross the river. Merchants who were transporting goods had no choice but to wait by the river. Even the business of the various shops in the county was affected. The gentry of the county complained to himself, but did not forget to ask for charms to be put up everywhere to ward off misfortune. Seeing that the plan was effective, Feng Changgong generously added a meat dish for the servants and his family. He also set up a banquet in the back courtyard and invited the registrar and the county magistrate to drink. While drinking, he asked the 2 of them, "What do you think of this official's plan?" "Brilliant, really brilliant. It is said that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan are more intelligent than others. Today I know that they are still far inferior to you, sir. The registrar's eyes were also blurred, but he did not forget to praise the county magistrate. The county magistrate did not want to be left behind. He held up the wine bottle. Once you make a brilliant plan, who in the world dares to disobey? Ha 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 ha! Feng Changgong was very happy to be praised. He drank a cup of wine with the county magistrate. He narrowed his eyes and said proudly, "You two still need to learn more. This official's plan is not an ordinary plan. It is a chain plan. In 2 days, I will show you how powerful it is. Chain plan, it is actually a chain plan. I really didn't see it. I admire you." The registrar's face was full of admiration as he helped the county magistrate fill the wine bottle. Damn Feng Changgong. In order to deal with us, he dares to use the plan of disturbing the people. He is doomed. Fight is fight, but he uses the method of harming the interests of the people to attack the opponent. What kind of official is this? Even if you don't kill him, I will kill him. Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao were sitting by the window on the second floor of the restaurant. They were drinking a big bowl of wine when they heard the content of the announcement. They said angrily, not caring whether the people at the table next to them were listening or not. So he is blaming us? If we didn't come, he wouldn't use this plan. Well, it is a chain plan. No wonder there is a Ru River in the county that can enter the Huai River and the Jiang River. The lives of the local people are not better. He used all his skills in this aspect. We have to deal with him. But don't kill him. Just give him his official position and let him be an ordinary person. Zhang Xiaobao drank a big mouthful of wine while speaking and burped. He opened the window and felt the warmth of the sun. He opened his mouth and signaled Wang Wan to feed him a bean. Wang Wan was very considerate. She scooped half of the bean with a spoon and poured it into Zhang Xiaobao's mouth. I am too lazy to wait for others to serve me. Tell me, how did it become a chain plan? It is too salty and not delicious. I will cook it for you with preserved vegetables when we get home. Speaking of this, Zhang Jiuling should thank us. If we didn't ask him to search in the mountains and in the wild, there would be no preserved vegetables to eat. Chain plan? The next step, of course, is to find a Taoist and then spread more vigorously that there is a disaster in the southwest. If it were me, I would do the same thing to stop the tourists from passing by Xinsai County and go to Baoxing County. I think he would be able to think of this and wouldn't be too stupid. Then I would use the final plan, which is to spread rumors in the counties around Baoxing County and isolate Baoxing County. It's a very vicious move. Zhang Xiaobao forced himself to swallow the salty bean and drank another mouthful of wine. When he felt better, he explained to Wang Wan. Vicious, really vicious. But no matter how vicious it is, it can't be compared to you. How can this be called a plan? We have tricked the people and let them see our methods. You still dare to talk about Zhang Jiuling. Before we came, Grandpa Zhang told me not to keep the preserved vegetables cooking method at home and spread it around. The place where the preserved vegetables are planted actually only ate preserved vegetables as rice. The people who go out to sea use preserved vegetables to wrap rice balls and fish. They even asked me why I collected so much preserved vegetables. Well, it's going to be used for. The most classic part of preserved vegetables is, of course, braised pork. But Zhang Jiuling doesn't organize the raising of pigs there, so it's useless to leave it there. Most of it is shipped to Suzhou and let our Tang and Royal Prince publicize it when the pigs are released this year. One is that the people can taste more, and the other is that it can provide more dishes for the local restaurants. Suzhou is an upper province and has a good economic foundation. In addition, there is our half-advanced bridge. Yes, half of it. Who could put wooden planks on a bridge? With such an environment, they can have more income. Li Sun doesn't spend much of his own money. Since he is willing to use it to do things for the people, let him earn it. We only want 10% of the profit. Isn't that good? I realize that I have become more and more kind recently. I am like a saint. This time, I will help Li Sun with the things we're going to do in Xiankai County. Zhang Xiaobao already had a plan in mind. When he was going to do it in Suzhou, he would let the people of between the clouds and the water follow suit and let them accept preserved vegetables. This would give the people of Lingnan Circuit another way to improve their lives. If it were someone else who heard Zhang Xiaobao's words, they might be moved. Wang Wan put her mouth close to the wine bowl. You are lying. Who would believe you? 10% is 10%, but it is an independent settlement. You are selling preserved vegetables to them. You actually signed a 20-year acquisition and processing contract with the local people there. Also, once preserved vegetables become popular in and around the capital, our inland river transport team will have something to do. Don't always put gold on your face in front of me. You are helping Li Sun get business? If I didn't hear your plan, I wouldn't have known that you were thinking so far ahead. Isn't it to avenge you? Who told him to treat your kindness as malice? I just added fuel to the fire and sped up the process. Wang Wan was very satisfied with Zhang Xiaobao's answer. She put some meat beside the fish gills into Zhang Xiaobao's mouth with her chopsticks and said, If only all men were like you. Then it will be troublesome. Won't they be bullied to death by women? Of course, if all women are as capable as you, then it will be reasonable. Otherwise, it would depend on who can get more resources to survive. If you want to blame someone, blame it on you men. The rise of women's status is because capable men seduce them to show off. I don't want to eat anymore. Pack it up. When we go back, you can cook it and taste it. It will be a pity to throw it away. Wang Wan was very satisfied with many things today, especially Zhang Xiaobao, who stood up for her and schemed against others. However, she was not satisfied with the food in the restaurant. When the people at the table next to them heard the young lady say pack it up, they immediately took out the food boxes they carried with them. There were clean, empty plates inside, and they folded a few dishes and put them away. They had formed a habit. As long as the young lady and young master went out to eat, no matter what the price was, they would never throw away the leftovers. Even if there was only a vegetable bun left, they would take it back to eat. However, no one dared to laugh at the young master and young lady for being stingy and poor. Who would dare to laugh at the children of the Zhang family and Wang family of Sanshui County for being poor? When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan left the restaurant with their people, a storyteller also came to the restaurant. However, today, the storyteller was not telling a story. Instead, he was talking about a serious matter. There's a bridge in the south and a road in the north. The 9 bends of the Yellow River are intertwined, and the surging Yangtze River is accompanied by the waves. Today, listen to me. Everyone, listen to me. Today, I will not be telling a story. I will only talk about that Shuzhou's Wangjiang connects the two shores. The storyteller was a storyteller. Even if he was not a storyteller, his mouth was still so smooth. The diners were still attracted to him. Someone brought a pot of tea to the storyteller and sat in front of him, waiting for him to speak. Last time it said to stop for a while. This time, one side is lively while the other side is cold. Don't forget each other at any corner of the world. It said that when Commandery Prince Tang and Commandery Prince Li saw that the spring plowing in Shuzhou was over, they suddenly thought of their playmates, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, who were still officials in Baoxing County. This Zhang Xiaobao was once the economic commander in Jiannandao. He was able to do whatever he wanted. Someone asked, who is Wang Wan? Don't be in a hurry. Listen to me in detail. It said that there was a murder case at the Wangjiang embankment. The mastermind behind it was Tubo. The logistics of Idyll were all mobilized. In fact, this is not what I'm going to talk about today. It said that Commandery Prince Tang and thought of the two of them and came to see them. Therefore, he picked up his brush and wrote a letter. When he wrote back, he found out that there was a Shinsai County beside Baoxing County. Out of kindness, Commandery Prince Li wanted to do something for the people in Shinsai County. The situation is like this. The storyteller felt very awkward. What he wanted to say could have been said in a few sentences, but he was not satisfied and insisted on adding in a lot of things. The listeners did not care whether or not they added anything else. As long as there was something to listen to, all of them listened attentively to the storyteller's vernacular. Chapter 708. While Xiankai County was in a state of panic due to the announcement, a piece of good news came out from various restaurants, and tea houses. Prince Tang wanted to invest in Xiankai County, and there were several steps to it. First, find a large amount of sesame seeds. When the weather warmed up a few days later, they would be planted in the gaps between the bean fields or specially clear out a piece of land to plant them. A large mill would be built south of the west bank of Rue River to harvest the sesame seeds and make sesame oil. Second, if there were idle people in the family, they would be able to get 100 chicks at one time. There would be people who would specially guide them to raise the chicks, and they would mainly focus on laying eggs. Feed could be bought from Baoxin County, and a pine flower egg production factory would be built diagonally opposite the sesame oil mill. Third, Shuzhou would provide piglets and disinfection technology. Feed could also be bought from Baoxin County. A pig processing center would be built at the border between Xiankai County and Baoxin County, and a leather tanning workshop would be set up next to it. Fourth, a fertilizer processing plant would be built near Baoxin County and Xiankai County to produce better fertilizer for the two counties. The two counties would need to transport rice stalks, wheat stalks, and other useless feces to the plant, and exchange them at a ratio of 4-to-1. The 4 points were spread out one after another. The money for the initial phase did not need to be paid by the people, as long as the technical personnel in charge of following the instructions did it seriously. The factory and workshop would also be ready to start construction in the near future. Feng Changgong also heard about this and felt that Prince Tang was really good. He was willing to help Xiankai County with the construction. When the time came, more people would be able to earn money. At the same time, it would also attract people from the outside. Wouldn't that make Zhong County a county? The people also thought so. Shuzhou was not too far away from here, and after hearing from the merchants, most of the people knew what Shuzhou was like now. It was a place where people could eat their fill every meal, where they could eat meat if they wanted to, where they could wear good clothes, and where the children could go to school to learn to read. In order to know the situation in time, Old Man Pai and Old Man Yao also sent people to inquire about this news and quickly sent it to Baoxin County to let Old Man Pai and the other two know. Old Man Pai and the other two were also in the tourist area of the model today, but they were not in the mood to explain to others. They were worried that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan would encounter trouble in Xinsai County, so they absent-mindedly looked at the townsfolk and businessmen coming and going, as well as the nearby county officials who had applied for leave to study. Could it be because of that phone guy? Old Man Chong was holding a 9-section whip in his hand. He drank 2 bowls of sour plum soup with ice, but he still felt irritated. He asked Old Man Pai and Old Man Yao, who were squinting their eyes, if he dares, even if he dares, the Yamen runners won't dare. Does he think that Cuckoo's reputation is fake? They should be back tomorrow. At most, they will be delayed on the road, but they can still reach the county the day after tomorrow. Old Man Bai was actually anxious as well. It had been less than 2 days since they last saw each other, but it felt like a long time had passed. He did not know whether he was saying those words for Old Man Zhang to hear or to console himself. Old Man Yao took a large cattail leaf fan from the side and fanned it twice. He also said, "Don't say that they can't beat Xiaobao and Cuckoo. Even if they show signs of fighting, no matter who is protecting them, they are finished." Cuckoo bullies others outside, and when she returns to Tang, she will be bullied by her own people. It's not good to hear. I told you two to send more people over, but you two didn't listen. If something really happens, don't talk about not being able to come back. Even if you escape, I want to see if you two still have the face to stay in their house. Don't think about eating good food in the future. Old Man Chong was most uncomfortable with the fact that he did not have any guards. If he wanted to do something, he had to tell Old Man Pai and Old Man Pai. It was inconvenient. While the 3 old men were expressing their worries in different ways, the people they sent out came back on horseback. Perhaps because they rode too fast, the people who came back staggered a few steps forward before they could steady themselves. They told the 3 old men what they heard without any personal bias. After listening to the people who came back, the 3 old men leaned back in their chairs at the same time. They were completely relieved. Old Man Chong reached out to pour himself a sour plum drink. As he added ice, he said, "That person surnamed Feng really doesn't have good intentions. He even dares to put up a notice. Does he really think that the Yamen is his? Xiaobao and Cuckoo are usually very smart people. Why are they so stupid this time? The other party has already made a move against them, yet they are still kind enough to help the other party. This won't do. Quickly send someone to call those two brats back. Did they drink some bewitching soup? You should eat less ice. If you fall sick, Xiaobao and Cuckoo will be busy like last time. If you're really thirsty, drink some hot tea. It will cool you down when you sweat. Feng Changgong still has some integrity. It's really hard for him to come up with this plan. Unfortunately, his intentions are not right. For his own personal gain, he put the people at a disadvantage. It's just a small trick. Old Man Pai stopped Old Man Chong and did not let him add more ice. He shook his head and said, "It's just a small trick." After Old Man Yao ordered someone to make some hot tea, he also said, "It really is a small trick. It can't be compared to Xiao Bao and Cuckoo. This time, he will lose miserably. Say it clearly. Why can't I see it?" Old Man Chong reluctantly pushed the sour plum soup back. When someone served the tea, he said with dissatisfaction. He always felt that he could not catch up. Most of the time, he was like a fool and had to be explained by others. You are in charge of martial arts. You don't understand literature. This plan is proposed by Xiao Bao. It kills people without spilling blood. Feng Changgong and the other officials in the county want to promote Xinsai County to an upper county like Sanshui County. They are about to succeed. However, in terms of economy, education, agriculture, industry, and commerce, they are not as good as Sanshui County. Their population is faster. As long as they have one population per county, it is very likely to pass given the current situation of the Tang Empire. Old Man Pai said leisurely. Seeing that Old Man Chong was still a loss, he continued, "If I hadn't been following Xiao Bao these years and been familiar with him, I wouldn't have guessed what he wants to do. He wants to promote Xinsai County to an upper county right now and make up for what Xinsai County lacks. Yes, now it's farming and labor. I guess the next step will be education. As for the economy, it's simple. Once the people have a good life and the transportation of Ru River is convenient, it will improve very quickly. Even if the population is not enough, it will be an upper county, and it will be a very prosperous one. Compared to Fanhua County and Jingji County, which are located between the capital and Luoyang, Xinsai County is better. However, the officials in Xinsai County can't take the credit. No matter who it is, they can only give the credit to Li Sun. It won't be long before Xinsai County is promoted, and Feng Changgong will leave his position. How can he stay in such a good place? Naturally, there will be people fighting for it. He can't be the provincial governor, right? Back then, it wasn't easy for Zhang Zhong to be promoted from a county magistrate to a provincial governor. He merged the surrounding counties into a province. Even if he made such a big contribution, he still has to leave and go to Luzhou. Old Man Pai and Old Man Pai had the same thoughts. Old Man Yao added on to Old Man Pai's words. At this moment, the hot tea was served. Old Man Chong did not care about the others. He poured himself a big bowl and gulped it down without fear of the heat. He heaved a sigh of relief and asked, "That's not right. Xiao Bao and Cuckoo are going there to discuss the diversion of the water. They've squeezed out a bunch of people. Do you think the newcomer will agree to it? Can they not agree to it? Look at the few things. The first one is really thinking for the sake of the local people. They can plant sesame seeds in the soybean fields. It's fresh. No, it's definitely not that simple. I don't understand this point at the moment. Let's just talk about the last 3 points. No matter which one it is, they're connecting the two counties. If they don't divert the water, are they going to transport them by land? When the people think about this, they'll take the initiative to propose a river so that they can travel more conveniently. This is especially true for transporting feces. It won't be as dirty if they take the water route. Old Man Pai poured himself half a bowl of tea and blew on it gently, as he explained to Old Man Chong. When the 3 old men spoke up to this point, a head popped out from behind them. Her little face was filled with curiosity as she asked, "Grandpa Bai, why can't I understand? Are Sister Cuckoo and Brother Xiao Bao really better than that bad guy? When did you arrive, Xiang? Are you thirsty? Drink a bowl of sour plum soup. Come, Grandpa will tell you. Feng Changgong is that bad guy. He only thinks about his own benefits and doesn't care about the people at all. That's why he resorted to harming others to benefit himself. Such a person deserves to be killed. Your brother Xiao Bao is different. In terms of attacking methods, that bad guy is no match for your brother Xiao Bao. But your brother Xiao Bao won't use such methods on the people of Tang. Even if he wants to use them, your sister Cuckoo won't agree to it. When using tricks to attack the opponent, he doesn't forget to take the people into consideration. This is what it means to care about the people of Tang. Otherwise, your brother Xiao Bao won't have to go through so much trouble to deal with foe. Oh, that bad guy. If you change countries, you'll know how ruthless your brother Xiao Bao is. To Tang, there's only one word to describe it. Kindness is like water. Old Man Pai wanted to carry Luo Xiang over, but found that the weather was too hot. He had to move to the side and let Xiang sit on the armrest. He gave her a bowl of sour plum soup and explained to her. Xiang still didn't quite understand. She took the bowl and thanked him. You mean very powerful, right? Xiang knows what kindness is like water. Sister Cuckoo taught Xiang a few days ago. Kindness is like water. Water benefits all things but doesn't compete. It's good for people's evil, so it's similar to the Tao. A man doesn't compete, so he doesn't care. Sister also said that brother Xiao Bao is like water, but it's not the Yellow River. It's the sea. It surges when it's calm. When it's good, it breeds all things. When it's evil, it turns the world upside down. Is the sea very powerful? Can it be compared to brother Xiao Bao? It's equally powerful. What else could Old Man Pai say? Wang had already given her evaluation. The two of them were usually smiling, but once they fought, it was truly earth-shattering. Then I'll learn it well, too. In the future, I'll be like brother Xiao Bao and sister Cuckoo. Let's see who dares to provoke me. I'll throw him into the sea to feed the fish and breed all things. Kindness, I'm kindness, the kind that's like water. Xiang understood very deeply. Hearing Xiang O's words, Old Man Pai and the others began to worry for Xiao Bei. Xiao Bao and Cuckoo's education methods seemed to be different from what they had imagined. Old Man Yao sighed helplessly. He said to the person beside him who was waiting for orders, "Go and tell the people from the Zhang family and Wang family about this. They'll know what to do." Chapter 709. The warm summer breeze blew gently, and traces of green were reflected in the blue waves. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang didn't plan to go back to Kai County for the time being. They wanted to organize the preliminary work in the county so that it would be easier for others to take over after they had laid down a good foundation. As for whether they would be absent from work, they weren't worried at all. They had applied for 3 days of leave, 2 days of leave for this month, and 10 days of sick leave after 5 days. In total, they could stay outside for half a month. Of course, they didn't say anything. They want to show their faces more often. It would be best if Feng Changgong found out and wrote an impeachment report. Even if it couldn't do anything to him, it would at least make him feel disgusted. On the 3rd day after they arrived in Kai County, they went to the Ru River and found a spot on the shore. They sat there and watched an old man fishing. The water was urgent, so there were no floats. The old man brought 3 fishing poles and a few lead stumps with many hooks. He hung live bait on the hooks one by one, then threw it into the water with a whoosh. He straightened the line and set the poles on a rock to complete the task. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang didn't say anything. They just watched. It was hard for others to know what they were thinking. The old man wore a bamboo hat on his head. He was probably afraid of being dazed by the sun. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang came over, he glanced at them. Seeing that their clothes weren't made of hemp, he couldn't guess their family situation. However, judging from their expressions, he felt that they weren't from an ordinary family, so he didn't take the initiative to talk to them. There were boats passing by the river from time to time. Fortunately, the hook the old man set wasn't too far from the shore, so it wasn't caught by the boats. He must have taken this into consideration. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang stayed there for an hour. From time to time, Zhang Xiaobao would stand up and take out a monocular from Wang's pocket to look around. Wang, on the other hand, had a hard straw stick in her hand and occasionally drew on the ground. The old man's luck was pretty good today. Within half an hour, he had caught more than a dozen fish. Among them, there were even 3 that weighed more than 2 caddies. The three of them were always sitting there silently, so the old man couldn't help but glance at the two older children every once in a while. Suddenly, he felt that something was wrong. In the past, when the children saw him catch fish, they would shout happily. When he left, he would give the children a few fish. Everyone didn't come in vain. These two were strange today. Why weren't they like other people? When he caught a fish, he just glanced at it and continued to sit there. Just now, the two children might have been hot, so they pulled a lot of grass from the side and weaved it into a big hat to cover their heads. If he didn't look carefully, he wouldn't have noticed that there were two people here. The fishing rod trembled violently twice, and the old man quickly pulled the line. This time, he caught a fish that weighed about 3 caddies. The old man happily said to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, "Children, do you want to eat fish? When you leave, bring a big one home." Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were still busy with their own things. When they heard the old man speak, they turned their heads at the same time and saw a catfish. Wang Wan glanced at Zhang Xiaobao and then said to the old man, "Grandpa, this is the one in your hand. Xiaobao and I bought it. We'll braise it when we get back." The old man didn't want to give the big one. It was more difficult to catch catfish with the rod today. Although it was big, the one in his hand was much smaller than the real big ones in the river. If he encountered that kind of catfish, he wouldn't be able to catch it at all. He wanted to keep it for one night and sell it tomorrow. Seeing that the two of them wanted to buy it now, he hesitated for a moment and said, "There's no need for money. Take it and eat it. The two of you are quite good-looking. Hee. It's not easy to accompany this old man for so long." "Thank you, Grandpa." Wang Wan didn't refuse. It was just a fish. When the factory and workshop were repaired, they would find someone to keep watch at night. At that time, many old men with nothing to do would have leisurely jobs. She would arrange a good one for this old man. When the old man heard Wang Wan's voice, he nodded happily and said, "Then I'll put in the net first. When I leave, I'll take it. The two of you are good kids. Grandpa is also a good person. Good people will be rewarded." "Grandpa, are there many catfish in the water?" Wang Wan also replied, "Yes, there are big ones. If I really encounter a big one, I have to throw the rod. I don't dare to pull it up. If I drag people in, they will disappear. There are also Korean fish." The old man was willing to listen to Wang Wan's crisp voice when she spoke, so he said with a smile. Wang Wan thought for a moment and said, "Grandpa, are there many idle people in your house? Why don't you dig a pond and catch Korean fish? The fish are delicious, and you can make a lot of money. There are many fish in the river. Why should I raise them? I just have nothing to do. So I catch a few fish and exchange them for money to buy candies for my grandson. If there are more fish, I will take them back and stew them." When the old man talked about his grandson, the wrinkles on his face piled up together, making him look very kind. Wang Wan understood that the old man's family was living a good life, so she stopped persuading the old man to raise fish. There were many fish in the river, but it was not as comfortable as raising fish. He could catch fish whenever he wanted. In this way, the old man might not be able to keep watch at night. Wang Wan suggested again, "Grandpa, why don't you build a house nearby? Maybe it will be useful in the future." "That can't be done. I heard that a workshop is going to be built here. Don't occupy other people's place." The old man knew a lot. He didn't know that Wang Wan just wanted him to cook some dishes for the people in the workshop after building the house and make more money. Seeing that the old man didn't agree, Wang Wan didn't continue to persuade him. She lowered her head and continued to draw. Perhaps it was true to Wang Wan's words. The old man's 3 fishing rods caught the fish one by one. After a while, the net that was put into the water to hold the fish was full. There were at least 50 caddies of fish in the net, and the fish were squeezing each other and flipping back and forth. Just as the old man was thinking about how to go back and catch a big fish for Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, a group of people came to the shore. There were carriages and horses. After they stopped at the shore, 3 people in government uniforms, surrounded by people in government uniforms, walked to the front. "Sir, what do you think of this place? Let His Royal Highness set up the workshop here." One of the officials asked while bowing beside the surrounded officials. "Well, not bad. That's what I want." "Huh, there are a lot of fish. Why don't we eat fish today? Don't go too far. Find 2 pots in the house nearby and stew the fish in water. The surrounded official glanced at the place and felt that it was a good place to build the workshop. When he saw the old man struggling to pull the net up, he wanted to eat fish. Hearing the official's words, the old man looked again and quickly bowed his head. County Magistrate Feng is here. County Magistrate Feng, you can't build the workshop here. There are holes in the ground. If it rains heavily today, it will collapse easily. You have to choose a good place to build the workshop. What do you know? Do you know cement? No matter what holes there are, just pour the cement in. Leave the fish here. Take the money and buy some meat buns and dumplings. A government official next to him was dissatisfied with the old man. He took out more than 20 copper coins and threw them on the ground. He wanted to buy all the fish and reached out to take the fish. The old man was obviously unwilling. He didn't dare to say anything, but his hands were very tight. It was not only the fish, but also the net. It would take more than a day to make a net. It was not easy to make twine. While they were in a stalemate, a voice suddenly rang out. It almost scared County Magistrate Feng into the river. Old Grandpa, he wants to buy a fish. Just sell it to him. I didn't expect County Magistrate Feng to be in the mood to eat fresh water and live fish by the river. This is the Southwest. Aren't you worried that something might happen and you might lose your life? What's the crime of buying by force, Xiaobao? As he spoke, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan stood up with their straw hats on. County Magistrate Feng stepped back and stood still. Only then did he take a closer look at the person who had suddenly appeared. At first glance, his good mood was gone. Zhang Xiaobao said, I think it's a capital offense. At the very least, he should be sent to Lingnan. When I'm in Luzhou, I'm kind. Give it to him now. Feng Changgong was not in the mood to listen to Zhang Xiaobao's nonsense. He shouted at the yamen runner who was still holding the fishing net tightly. It was not a big deal if the two of them were to impeach him. It was not that the yamen runner did not recognize Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. It was because he knew who they were that he was so scared that he forgot that he was still holding the net. When he heard the county magistrate's voice, he quickly let go of the net. He was so fast that it was as if what he was holding was not a net, but a burning iron wire. As he stepped back, he stared at Wang Wan to see if Wang Wan would laugh or not. He would rather believe it than not. The old man was surprised. Wow, these 2 kids are awesome. They scared County Magistrate Feng with 1 sentence each. Who are they? Oh, it's Registrar Zhang and County Deputy Wang. You 2 are in a good mood. You ran to the riverside to hide and scare people. Just now you didn't buy by force. Instead, you asked someone to help me carry the fish. Feng Changgong still felt that his heart was beating fast. He said to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan indignantly. Wang Wan did not care about his indignation. She trotted to the place where the yamen runner threw the money. She bent down and picked them up one by one. She waved at Zhang Xiaobao and said, Xiaobao, money. I don't know who dropped it. Buy some meat and make some dumplings later. Then we have to ask who dropped it by accident first. What if the owner is right next to us? Who dropped it? Who dropped the money? No one said yes. Take it. Zhang Xiaobao had a good understanding of the terrain today. He was very happy and played along with Wang Wan. The old man finally knew who the 2 kids were. They were the new Registrar Zhang and Deputy Wang of Baoxin County, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. No wonder they looked different from ordinary kids. He did not care about the fish anymore and said to them hurriedly, Xiaobao, Cuckoo, you can't build a workshop here. I heard that you have a good relationship with the commandery prince. Tell him that you can't build a workshop here. Wang Wan smiled at the yamen runner who threw the money just now. She put the money away and asked the old man, Grandpa, are you familiar with this place? Yes, I'm familiar with it. This place is unusual. I don't have other skills, but I can see the earth chi. The old man finally met someone who he thought could compete with County Magistrate Feng. He immediately patted his chest and promised. Earth Chi. Wang Wan did not expect to meet a master who had a legendary skill, but many people still believed in it. It was said that some minds were not measured by instruments, but by people. Even the officials at that time also believed in it. Chapter 710. Hearing Wang Wan's last question, Feng Changgong didn't say anything. He knew who Tang and County would listen to. He didn't say anything, But Wang Wan didn't want to let it go. She said worriedly, "Oh, County Magistrate Feng, you are the county magistrate here. Don't tell me you don't want others to come here to build the workshop? Without the workshop, don't transport things from Baoxin County. If you don't transport things, you don't need to draw the river." If Feng Changgong hadn't heard Wang Wan mention this today, he might not have thought that building the workshop was to draw the river. These 2 days, he had been thinking about how to scheme against Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. At this time, after being reminded by Wang Wan, he started to think, should I stop it? As soon as the idea appeared, it was ruthlessly extinguished by himself. That was absolutely impossible. It was no different from courting death. If he really did it, not to mention others, even the backer behind him would not be reliable. If things went wrong, he would be the first to be punished. On purpose, Wang Wan did it on purpose. Feng Changgong thought. When he looked at Wang Wan again, Wei Wei smiled and said, "County Magistrate Wang, you have a good idea. Unfortunately, I didn't say anything about not drawing the river to Baoxin County. If you have the ability, you can do it. Then I'll let you see. I'm going to draw the river." Wang Wan looked like she was angry. Feng Changgong was not in the mood to eat fish by the river. He snorted and turned to leave. He parted with Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan on bad terms. After Feng Changgong left with his people, the old man understood that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't get along well with County Magistrate Feng. It seemed that they were enemies. "Miss Wang, this County Magistrate Feng is not simple. There were people from the state government who wanted to deal with him, but they were dealt with by him. You must be careful," the old man reminded Wang Wan kindly. "I know. Thank you, Grandpa. Would Grandpa be willing to take a look at this place?" Wang Wan really didn't inquire about Feng Changgong in detail, because he was not famous. She had never heard of this name, so naturally, he was ranked in the list of people who did not pay attention to him. The old man did not hesitate this time. He nodded and said, "Okay, you can find me when the time comes. I live in the county behind the Shengrong Rice Company. My surname is Liu. You can ask around and you will know who I am. I'm the fishing old man Liu." Hee. After speaking, the old man was ready to leave. However, he had caught too many fish today, so it was very strenuous for him. Wang Wan waved at the bushes not far away. Suddenly, 2 people appeared, startling the old man. He didn't know that there were people hiding in the bushes. "Take me home and let me know the place," Wang Wan ordered. The 2 people helped the old man lift the fish. The old man didn't forget to give Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan the fish that weighed more than 3 kilograms. He talked with the 2 guards all the way back. It was estimated that he would arrive home at around 5 in the afternoon. After the old man left, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not intend to continue to look at the terrain. They looked at each other and walked to a house nearby. They planned to borrow the kitchen to cook the fish and buy some other things. They would have a meal at noon. The guard would find something to eat by themselves, so they didn't need to worry about it. Maybe it was because the fish was really delicious, or maybe it was because they hadn't eaten such a simple braised fish for a long time. They missed it. Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao both felt that it was delicious. They also invited the 4 people of the house to eat together. They also bought 2 dishes with the copper coins they robbed. The 6 people were very happy. The woman of the house who ate kept praising Zhang Xiaobao's cooking skills. She didn't forget to tell Wang Wan that she should cook more in the future. She couldn't let a man cook, so it was okay to eat occasionally. "Xiaobao, I don't think Feng Changgong can stop Li's son." On the way back, Wang Wan said to Zhang Xiaobao, "Do you really think he is stupid? I guess he is thinking about how to take credit. It's useless. When we go back, I will go to the official post and enter the capital." Zhang Xiaobao didn't expect Feng Changgong to do anything. If he did, it would save a lot of trouble. Then we have to deal with his plan now. It is very useful. Nowadays, people need to use curses to cure diseases. Everyone believes it. It is not easy to change. Wang Wan thought that Feng Changgong's plan was difficult to break. When Feng Changgong found a Taoist priest to pretend, the people would be more convinced. Zhang Xiaobao said disapprovingly, "Don't forget what I do. There's a saying that the best way to deal with cavalry is to use cavalry. We can do the same. We can play better than him." For example, we can find a piece of oil paper in the fish's stomach with words on it. There are many ways. Go back and help me think about a few. You are so bad. Okay, let's do it. Come up with more tricks to scare people. Wang Wan had a plan in her heart. She felt that it was a very interesting thing. When they returned to the county, Zhang Xiaobao began to write a letter. He asked someone to take it back and stamped it. It was sent to the capital through official channels. This time, it was not a private letter. They had to go through official channels. Otherwise, they would not be able to achieve their goal. Before Li Sun knew anything, many people came to Xian Kai County and started to work according to the storyteller's instructions. The commoners were ready. It was the same as Royal Prince Anne's investment. Those who planted soybeans were given sesame seeds. Those who had free time at home were given chicks and piglets. The craftsmen also gathered by the river and waited for orders to start work. Feng Changgong was also busy these days. He went to the riverside every day to check on the progress of the project. He also said a few words of encouragement. It was as if he was the reason why Prince Tang and was able to invest in the project. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not return to the county. They stayed by the riverside with Old Man Lu. They checked on the Qi in the morning and at night. They also explained the mysteries of the project to Zhang Xiaobao and Old Man Lu. The two did not understand, probably because they were not talented enough. On the 9th day of work at Ru River, the most important person in Xian Kai County, Li Sun, arrived. Li Sun did not take a boat. Instead, he rode a horse. He raised pigeons in Shuzhou. Last month, he asked someone to send them to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan in Baoxing County. He said that they should contact each other if anything happened. He could not just leave. He was preparing to go back to the capital for a blind date. He did not know what kind of people he found. He would go and take a look. If they were not good enough, he would look for Zhang Xiaobao to discuss countermeasures. When the news spread that he was going to invest in Xian Kai County, Zhang Xiaobao sent him a letter with a pigeon. He was eager and did not want to stay in Shuzhou any longer. He used this as an excuse to come here. He even brought 600 guards with him and appeared at the riverside of Ru River. It was noon when he arrived. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan ate with the others at the construction site. As usual, those who worked were given good food and drinks. Yesterday, they ate 2 dishes and a soup. Today, there was only one soup. The main dish was put together with the dishes. There was meat, bread, and mutton, and the soup was fish soup. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan put the lean meat into the bread. They could not help but tremble when they saw others put a large piece of mutton oil into the bread. When Li Sun arrived, the two had just eaten a few mouthfuls. They did not drink the soup. They tasted it. It was said that mutton and fish tasted better together, but the two did not feel it. They only felt that it was fishy. It was not good to put more chopped green onions and coriander. Eat bread. Good, give me one. Don't put coriander, put more chopped green onions. I haven't eaten it in a long time. Eat it yourselves. Don't wait for someone to serve you. Li Sun's arrival surprised the others, but it did not move Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. The two were still eating when Li Sun came forward and gave orders to the cook who was in charge of serving people. He also shouted to the 600 people he brought with him. With the sudden addition of 600 people, the cook had no choice but to cook immediately. These are the county king's people. If it were the cooks of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family, they would not be so nervous. They used to see each other all the time. The cook here was found locally. When he saw Li Sun, he excitedly stuffed a large piece of mutton oil, chopped green onions, and coriander in his hands. Li Sun politely received it and turned around to give it to his bodyguard. You eat it. It's nutritious. Don't hover in front of me. Xiaobao and Cuckoo are here. After giving orders to the bodyguard, Li Sun had to do it himself. He lamented that the cook that Xian Kai County found at the last minute was not as good as the professional cooks of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family. Eat some salted vegetables? Zhang Xiaobao pushed the only plate of salted vegetables in front of him and Wang Wan to Li Sun. They were all acquaintances, so there was no need to be so polite. Yes, let's eat. After taking a bite of the biscuit, Li Sun saw that there were no salted vegetables in front of others. He knew that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had brought them here themselves. They must be good. Perhaps they were made by Zhang Xiaobao himself. He had not tasted them for several months. The news of Li Sun's arrival spread quickly. The people asked around. When they found out that Tang and County King was also eating with the people at the construction site, they liked Li Sun even more. After finishing the rujiamo, Li Sun was not afraid of the fish. He drank more than half of the fish soup. When he was making another rujiamo, he said to Zhang Xiaobao, "You're using my name to do things. Aren't you afraid that you'll implicate me? There's no donkey rujiamo here. Why did the donkey rujiamo you treated me to last time taste better than the mutton today? I don't want to implicate you. I won't use your name for nothing. I'll give you a share. When the weather gets hotter, you'll have a business there. Help me advertise the braised pork with preserved vegetables. I only want 10% of the shares. The donkey rujiamo you ate last time was made by me. The mutton today was made by a local cook. I want to eat donkey meat, but I'm afraid that there are not enough donkeys in the county. The people who have donkeys will fight with me. If you can kill a few cows, I'll give the people at the construction site braised beef tomorrow." While Zhang Xiaobao was talking, Wang Wan took out 2 tin cans of pickles from her bag. She pointed to one of them and said to Li Sun, "These are beans made from beans with preserved vegetables. These are the beans made with preserved vegetables. There are diced beef inside. I didn't deliberately kill a strong cow, and I didn't want to do that. It's also not an old cow that has been plowing for a lifetime. Try it. The other one is a can. I asked someone to send it to you. This is the can of preserved vegetables and meat that you want to make." Li Sun didn't wait for Wang Wan to help him and started by himself. He first opened the can and sniffed it carefully before nodding. "It smells good. Last time, you gave me 300 cans, and I ate more than 10 of them myself. As for the rest, I gave most of them to the guards who trained well. You didn't give me more. That's 300 cans of pig knuckles. It's a large quantity and not fake. 2 pig knuckles can make for cans. Next time, you send me 1,000 pigs, and I'll return you 5,000 cans. Did you write the booklet I asked you to write?" Zhang Xiaobao did not lie. The cans he sent were really pig knuckles. Although they were not small, once they were made into cans, they were very useless meat. There was not much good meat. If water was squeezed tight, they would turn into small balls. This was a real military product. I wrote it. 5,000 pigs, no problem. You can't imagine how many poultry and livestock there are in Shuzhou now. The people are really good at raising them. They even say that I'm a good county prince and give me gifts. I can't even eat them. I've made all the leftover pork into cured meat. The chickens are also dried. Next time, the people will send them again during festivals. I'll give you half. The cans are bigger, 5,000 is fine too. I don't care. The people also asked about your house and said that they wanted to bring something over to take a look. I persuaded them not to. The people of Wangjiang built a big house for you by the river. It's 4 stories, made of wood. It's big at the bottom and small at the top. It's called the Blood Grace Pavilion. I think if I go there and say a few bad things about Wang Wan, the people will rush over and beat me up. They are so jealous of me. What do you think the official looks like? I haven't even seen him before, and I'm helping you. Tell me, how are you going to compensate me?" Li Sun finally did not have to be his own county prince. He was very relaxed in front of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. He talked endlessly with excitement. It was noon in Xinsai. It was also noon in the capital. The officials were also eating, but some people were not in a good mood today. They did not have an appetite for anything. 2 people were the most obvious. One was Zhang Juling, and the other was Zhang Shaw. Zhang Xiaobao's memorial had been delivered. It arrived today. The official relay station was slow, far slower than the pigeons. Zhang Juling had seen the memorial, and so had Zhang Shaw. Going through the proper channels, it was difficult for Zhang Shaw not to see it. This was the first time Zhang Xiaobao had submitted a memorial as an official. Everyone was very curious. Just what was it that caused Zhang Xiaobao to not send pigeons? In the end, when they read the memorial, it was Zhang Xiaobao explaining the alliance between Xinsai County and Baoxing County. An alliance was not a big deal. Any official who could come into contact with it found it very normal. If they wanted to connect, they could connect. The Zhang family and Wang family were very capable. They could build up a good place wherever they went. It was already good enough that they could bring Xinsai County. However, the main point of the memorial was not the alliance. It was to help promote Shinsai County from a middle county to a county. However, it did not write a letter to the province and insisted on going directly to the capital. It praised Feng Changgong and the other officials of Shinsai County, saying that they were rare in the world. It said that during the alliance, the officials of Shinsai County had helped a lot. Furthermore, they were all very capable. It meant that they should be promoted. Such people could not continue to stay in a county. Unlike himself and Cuckoo, they were still young and needed more training. If County Magistrate Feng continued to train, he would be old. This was considered normal. Although the officials did not know how capable Feng Changgong was, they did not want Zhang Xiaobao to praise him. However, since Zhang Xiaobao said that it was okay, then it was okay to mention it. However, there was another sentence at the end. It said that the capital should investigate County Magistrate Feng more. This was because many people were good at being officials. Once they were in a different position, it was easy for them to change. In terms of literature, if they felt that he was good, they could also investigate him specifically. The officials also understood this matter. They were afraid of taking responsibility. What if he was not good enough? Investigations were necessary. However, the last sentence made everyone unable to guess Zhang Xiaobao's purpose. Since the memorial mentioned that the main officials in the county should be promoted and given more responsibilities, then there should be new officials. Originally, this matter had nothing to do with Zhang Xiaobao. The appointment of new officials was the Ministry of Personnel's matter. However, Zhang Xiaobao nominated 6 people and said that 3 of them could be chosen. For other officials, it was as if they did not know that Zhang Xiaobao had overstepped his authority. The Zhang family had done many things that exceeded their authority. If they really wanted to investigate, they would not be able to find out. However, for Zhang Xiaobao, it was different. This was because the 6 people that Zhang Xiaobao mentioned were all Yuanrong's people. To be honest, they were not bad. They were the kind of people who could really do things. The problem was that Yuanrong and Zhang Shuo did not see eye to eye. Although Zhang Shuo was the prime minister, he could not control Yuanrong. When Yuanrong went out to do things, he did not have to go through the imperial secretariat. Later on, Zhang Shuo set up a special organization to control Yuanrong. However, Yuanrong was still not obedient. He belonged to the kind of people who were practical. He was the opposite of Zhang Shuo's people who were knowledgeable. Zhang Jiuling worked under Zhang Shuo and was more obedient. He was worried. His retired housekeeper was still in someone else's house. It was not good for him to help anyone. Moreover, the Zhang family had helped him a lot. He was in a dilemma. Therefore, when he ate, he felt that the food was tasteless. There was no need to mention Zhang Shuo. Last time, he sent a name list and specifically mentioned Feng Chan. This time, he actually gave an official position in a good place to Yuanrong. Zhang Shuo really wanted to personally go over and ask, which side is your family on? If you say you're on the scholarly side, that's right, you're the top scorer in the imperial examinations. Even the servants in your family are literate and literate. If you say you're on the practical side, you've accumulated a lot of political achievements, all of which are local. He should not be on either side, but he actually came to find trouble at this time. Could it be that they found out about his conversation with the emperor last time? Thinking of this, Zhang Shuo lost his appetite. He was angry and anxious at the same time. He was angry that Zhang Xiaobao did not mention his people. He was anxious because if this memorial was passed, wouldn't that mean that he would lose a good spot? That place was the same as Luzhou. It was specially used for officials to be promoted. As long as the officials there were not stupid and followed the original plan, they would be promoted in less than 2 years. If he sent 3 of his people there, it would be faster to promote and more convenient to use in the future. What should I do? Suppress it? No, I can suppress the memorial, but I can't suppress the pigeons. Zisho, what do you think I should do? Zhang Shuo muttered. He could not think of a good idea, so he turned to ask Zhang Jiuling. What he was afraid of had come true. Zhang Jiuling was worried that Zhang Shuo would ask him. He could not side with anyone. Who paid for the road? Who was the one who bought the preserved vegetables? Who gave him many things in his house? Who helped him come up with some ideas? Everything pointed to the Zhang family. However, Zhang Shuo was not unkind to him. Without Zhang Shuo, he would not have his current position. How should he explain this? Zhang Juling chewed the vegetables vigorously. He wanted Zhang Shuo to wait for a while. He wanted to use this time to think about it. The vegetables were not old, so he could not keep chewing. After chewing for a while, Zhang Juling swallowed the vegetables with difficulty. He met Zhang Shuo's expectant gaze and said, "Let Lord Zhang make the decision. It would be better if the name list was changed. However, that place seems to be a little chaotic, and many parties will interfere. Especially Yuanrong. The current person is his. If Feng Changgong really rises up like this, it means that his people are very capable. Even if he wants to send someone else, he should send his people, unless..." Zhang Juling did not finish his sentence, but his meaning was very clear. Zhang Shuo thought the same. He nodded and said, "Then let's do it this way. Let Feng Changgong and the other two enter the capital for the examination. As for the other 6 candidates, we'll discuss it again when Xian Kai County is promoted to an upper county." Just as Zhang Shuo made the decision, someone outside brought in a letter from Li Sun. Zhang Shuo was very worried that Li Sun and Zhang Xiaobao would stand together to deal with him. He did not eat and hurried over to take a look. Zhang Juling followed behind. After Zhang Shuo opened the letter and read the contents, he suddenly laughed heartily. "Ha, good, good, good. Zisho, come and take a look." Prince Tang An's new letter said that he heard that Feng Changgong had made many mistakes when doing things in the county. He was worried that the money he took out could not be used properly. He wanted the court to think of a solution. It would be best if they could change the official. Zhang Juling did not need to read the letter. He understood from Zhang Shuo that Li Sun could not promote officials by himself. If he had not been with Zhang Xiaobao and the Wang family, he could not even follow them to Idyll, let alone do business together. If he felt that something was not right, he could impeach, but he could not appoint. He was here to ask for help. The situation seemed to be very favorable to him. But why did he feel that something was not right? Zhang Xiaobao and Li Sun were so close. Did they not inform each other before? One wanted to promote, the other wanted to suppress. It was a mess. It felt like when Xiaobao and Cuckoo were in Idyll, whether it was war or economic war, it gave people the feeling that it was a mess. Only when the dust finally settled did they know the layout of the two people. Zhang Shuo did not wait for Zhang Juling to say anything. He happily put away the letter and turned to walk out. "Let's go and eat. I didn't eat enough just now, and I'm hungry again." Zhang Juling thought to himself, "You didn't eat enough, right? I only ate 2 mouthfuls. Now my stomach is still uncomfortable. I don't feel good." He followed him out. However, he could not erase the 2 things he learned today. Or rather, it was the same thing. Something seemed wrong. Chapter 711. In fact, Feng Changgong didn't want to come. He knew the relationship between Zhang Xiaobao, Wang Wan, and Li Sun. If he went there, he would definitely be treated coldly. If things went wrong, he might even be taught a lesson by Li Sun. However, Feng Changgong still came. If the person who came was not Li Sun, but Li Sun's other brothers of similar status, Feng Changgong could refuse to see him. He had neither money nor power, so he couldn't do anything to him. Li Sun was an exception. He had a lot of money and power. Other people only had the title of commandery prince, but they didn't need to go to the place. Every year, they would receive a portion of the tax there. Naturally, they were good officials in management. However, Li Sun of Shuzhou really did become a commandery prince. The local officials all had to listen to him. He had a lot of power in his hands, and he did have some ability. Even if he returned to Tang and county and managed it himself, he didn't make any mistakes. He trained soldiers for Shuzhou and organized them well. He even formed 3,000 Tumbling Waves army and trained them every day at Lake Tai. He was also diligent and serious in government affairs. He often proposed small policies that would benefit the people. He would find a group of officials to sit together and discuss. He would perfect the details and bring real benefits to the people. It was too easy for such a person to find trouble with a local official. If he didn't meet them, he would feel that someone was disrespectful to him. He would turn around and complain, and his future would be ruined. Feng Changgong, who didn't know that Li Sun had already made a move against him, brought people to the riverside. He felt very uncomfortable when he saw that the number of ferries on the river had increased instead of decreased. No matter how frightening the Yaman's announcement was, the number of ferries was still increasing and the construction was not affected. For a better life, the people chose to temporarily forget about the Yaman's announcement. When he was about 50 steps away from Li Sun, Feng Changgong saw 3 people sitting together and laughing. There were no guards within 20 steps of them. It was obvious how much Li Sun trusted Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Taking 2 deep breaths, Feng Changgong signaled the others not to follow and walked over alone. Li Sun also happened to hear Zhang Xiaobao's words. He raised his head and looked in the direction that Zhang Xiaobao was pointing at. This official, Feng Changgong, greets your Royal Highness. Is your Royal Highness tired after rushing all the way here? This lowly official will prepare a place for your Highness to rest in the county. Feng Changgong had finally finished walking this long road and bowed to salute. County Magistrate Feng, you actually came to see me in person. Take a seat. It's tiring to travel, but I feel much better after eating 2 rujiamos. County Magistrate Feng, have you had lunch? If you want to eat, but don't have time, why don't you sit down and eat? Li Sun was not as cold as Feng Changgong had imagined. Instead, he was very enthusiastic. This was what Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had taught him. As an official, as long as he did not encounter a disaster or punish an official who made a mistake, he should not always keep a straight face. If he could not be sincere, he should become a professional. Li Ji had learned well, especially when he was facing the people. His smile came from the bottom of his heart. He liked the feeling of being thanked and respected by others. He was willing to help the people live a good life through his own efforts. This was also a reflection of one's ability. Yes, it was called realizing one's self-worth. Now, when facing Feng Changgong, his smile was a bit professional, but others could not see it. He warmly pulled Feng Changgong to sit next to him and asked someone to bring 2 rujiamos and a bowl of fish soup. He also pushed 2 delicious pickles and his leftover canned food in front of Feng Changgong and invited him to eat. Feng Changgong was stunned by Li Sun's enthusiasm. He was pressed to the stool in a daze until someone brought the food over. He looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, then looked at Li Sun and the rujiamos. He reluctantly picked one up and chewed it in his mouth, frowning slightly. It was not delicious at all. It was greasy and hard to swallow. He had never eaten this kind of thing before. Seeing that Li Sun was still looking at him, he had to eat it. He had no choice but to drink the soup. He wanted to use the soup to wash it down, but as soon as he drank it, a strong fishy taste filled his mouth. With a puff, Feng Changgong could not bear it and spat out the food right in front of Zhang Xiaobao. At this time, Zhang Xiaobao finally showed his true ability. When he stared at Feng Changgong and saw that Feng Changgong was about to spit out, he slapped the table in front of him and jumped up. When his feet were 4 feet off the ground, he did a horizontal split. Then he somersaulted in the air and landed back. After sitting down, he stared at Feng Changgong and asked, County Magistrate Feng, do you think you can't eat this kind of thing? After coughing a few times, Feng Changgong waved his hand and said, No, I just choked. I was just thinking about how to make the people under my rule eat this kind of food on a daily basis. Are you all right, Registrar Zhang? Feng Changgong coughed because he was shocked by Xiaobao's actions. Xiaobao's reaction was too fast. In the blink of an eye, Xiaobao had done that set of actions and avoided the thing that he had spat out. Feng Changgong then looked at Wang Wan, who had also dodged and returned to her original position. Feng Changgong finally understood why Li Sun did not arrange for bodyguards nearby. It was impossible for a normal person to come over in large numbers. If someone like him came over and really wanted to harm Li Sun, he reckoned that before he could finish his assassination, he would first fall. This was because he saw Zhang Xiaobao slowly returning the throwing knife that he had taken out earlier to his waist. Wang Wan knew why Feng Changgong spit it out. She and Xiaobao just tried to swallow a little bit. Not to mention Feng Changgong drank a big mouthful. But she was not going to let Feng Changgong go. She said, County Magistrate Feng is also wholeheartedly serving the people. You must eat more and take care of your body so that you can do more things for the people. That's right. County Magistrate Feng, please. Li Sun agreed. He really did not know that it was because of the smell. He ate quite well. Feng Changgong's expression was very interesting, as if he was going to the execution ground. He nodded and saw that there was a bowl of coriander and a bowl of chopped green onions on the table. He grabbed a lot of them and stuffed them into the cake and soup. He smacked his lips twice, and with a red face, he took a bite of the cake and drank a mouthful of soup. He did not let his nose breathe out and swallowed hard. He quickly picked up some salted vegetables. He endured this mouthful and did not dare to breathe for a long time. After a while, he let out a long breath and said, "Delicious, very delicious." He moved his tongue again and stared at the two small, salted vegetables. Suddenly, his eyes lit up. He recalled the taste and used his chopsticks to pick up the can. After eating, he looked at Li Sun and asked, "Your Royal Highness, did you bring these salted vegetables and the things in the iron box?" "It's delicious." Li Sun thought in his heart that this was nonsense. The salted vegetables were made by Xiao Bao for Cuckoo, and the canned food was specially prepared by Zhang family and Wang family because they were afraid that people who went out to do work would eat too much. How could it not be delicious? County Magistrate Feng, you were wrong. These things are all from Xiao Bao and Cuckoo's family. I am not capable of making them. Try more of the beans and can food cooked with salted vegetables. When you want to eat them, you can go to Tang and Prefecture. I will give you a 20% discount. That is, I will charge you 80% of the price. As we agreed, you must go. As long as you are in Shuzhou, no matter where and what you eat, I will give you a 20% discount. Xiao Bao, lend me a charcoal pencil. Li Sun said and stretched out his hand to Zhang Xiao Bao. Wang Wan took out a pen and paper from her bag. Swish, swish, swish. He finished writing a receipt for the discount, signed it, and handed it to Feng Changgong with a sincere smile on his face. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan couldn't help but nod. It seemed that they needed to print some business cards for Li Sun in the future, the cheap ones. After all, a name card was too expensive and represented different meanings. It seemed that Li Sun had learned the essence of doing business and had developed. Feng Changgong took the sales promotion paper in a daze, thinking about how much he would have to spend if he went there. County Magistrate Feng, in addition to these two things, there will be more dishes, sightseeing, bathing, and fitness. If you can find other officials, family members, and friends, I can give you a group purchase price and take you to watch part of the military exercises of the tumultuous Wave Army in Lake Tai. The discount is 50%. It seemed that Li Sun was determined to make this deal happen. He was so persistent. He originally wanted to say that if there were many people, he could give them a commission. However, after thinking about it, he felt that it was not good to say so. At most, he could give Feng Changgong a special gift. He had to hurry, or Feng Changgong would be finished if he went down. Feng Changgong looked at Li Sun carefully. After confirming that he was the county magistrate, he said, "Don't worry, Your Highness. I will definitely go. It won't take long." "That's good. Hurry up and eat, or the soup will get cold." Li Sun, who felt that he had made a deal, was very happy. He pinched some chopped green onions and put them in a Feng Changgong's soup bowl. He thought that Feng Changgong liked to drink it. Feng Changgong really hoped that Li Sun would be colder to him and not be so enthusiastic. He couldn't stand it. He endured the discomfort and ate one mouthful after another. Finally, he finished a jiaoma and a bowl of soup. It was so uncomfortable. If it weren't for the pickles and canned food, he wouldn't have eaten anything. He patted his belly and said, "It's delicious. I really want to eat more, but unfortunately, I am full. Next time, I will treat County Magistrate Feng next time. I promise." Li Sun's smile was sincere this time. He was treating a customer. Feng Changgong agreed repeatedly. When he was thinking of an excuse to leave and let others suffer, two fast horses galloped from the direction of Baoxing County. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan heard the sound and turned to look. They saw only one person and two horses. They looked at each other. Zhang Xiaobao winked at Li Sun. Li Sun immediately said to Feng Changgong, "County Magistrate Feng, don't waste time here. The county's business is more important." At this moment, Feng Changgong really didn't want to leave. He could see that something was going on, but since Li Sun said so, he could only obediently agree and leave. When the person saw the place, he slowed down slightly. When he got close, he grabbed the reins and lifted the front leg of the horse. Then, he slid forward for a short distance and flipped over from the horse's back and landed on the ground. He hurriedly took out a letter, took a deep breath, and reported to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Lu Zhou has an urgent report. There's an internal strife in Xinyuan Island. Young master and young lady, please make a decision. A fight? Good. I've been waiting for this day. Cuckoo, help me write the letter and proceed to the next step. Zhang Xiaobao said happily to Wang Wan, not as nervous as before when he heard the news. Chapter 712. As Zhang Xiaobao spoke, Wang Wan wrote. From time to time, Wang Wan would stop to voice her thoughts. Li Sun listened as well. He was also involved in this matter. Back then, he was the one who contributed. He even used his name as a member of the imperial family to attack the other party. He was also involved in Lu Zhou's business. Moreover, he had to find a market for the 100,000 mountains produce, provide medicinal herbs to the tribes that oppose the other people so that they can recuperate better. If the situation requires it, we can even send a small number of our doctors in Lu Zhou, just 10 of them. They can go there to provide international aid, the selfless kind. However, they must be careful not to hurt themselves. Now that Zhang Xiaobao was talking about medicinal herbs, Li Sun nodded in agreement. He liked to hear Zhang Xiaobao say things like this the most. He felt that Zhang Xiaobao was very noble, but in truth, he was full of evil ideas. Wang Wan wrote down Zhang Xiaobao's words and made her own suggestion. I think we should also send the injured locals who don't have good conditions to receive treatment to Lu Zhou. Firstly, we can promote mutual understanding. Secondly, we can build a good impression of both sides. We can let the other party understand that Tang is peace-loving and that our people are kind. That's right. Write it down. Zhang Xiaobao agreed with Wang Wan. Li Sun looked back and forth at the side. He looked at Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. When he saw the sincerity in their eyes when they spoke, he wondered if he had misunderstood them. They were really willing to help the people there. There's one more thing to add. Once the local people are sent to Lu Zhou, don't let them know too much, especially the prices. All right, let's move on to the next point. Zhang Xiaobao added one more point and approved this point. Li Sun, on the other hand, smashed the doubts that had just arisen in his heart. The sun was still the same, and the Ru River was still the same. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not change either. Not bad. Zhang Xiaobao was about to continue when he coughed. He was thirsty. He had eaten salted vegetables and jiama just now, but he did not drink soup. He ran to the place where the workers boiled water to drink and brought back a pot of water. He poured 3 bowls of water, blew on it, and took a sip. You can provide weapons to the peace-loving Xinyuan Island tribes. You can buy them on credit first. You don't need to make any profit. It's just a capital. An iron sword costs 40 strings of arrows, and a 2-stone iron bow costs 80 strings of arrows. You can also provide cement and help them build good fortifications. Remember to pack them well. Don't copy the Japanese. Don't give them gunpowder. It's troublesome to operate, and they might accidentally blow themselves up. But our people must be careful. They must carry firearms. Send gunships to follow them. If there's any danger, board the ships at the seaside. All right, I'll add. Also, ask Lu Zhou's craftsmen to provide arrowheads. They'll cost 200 copper coins each. When we get there, let the local tribes make their own arrowheads. It's also a technical cooperation. Wang Wan wrote down what Zhang Xiaobao said and added. As Li Sun listened, he began to feel sorry for the people on the island. I told you to unite and resist, but now no one can take advantage of the situation. What kind of iron saber is worth 40 strings of coins? How much capital? I reckon many people on the island will die, and the rest will all be pro-Tang. At the thought of the dead people, Li Sun also said, it's best if fewer people die. The heavens are virtuous and can educate them, teach them etiquette, honor, and disgrace, and help them live a good life. I'm willing to invest in the shares and set up a Xinyuan Island branch of the Ocean Relief Fund. I'll give them hope for a better life and buy the resources they get from their labor at a high price. I'll give them 10 caddies of copper and exchange it with 100 copper coins per caddy of cotton products. It's a small profit. When Li Sun said this, he mustered up a lot of courage and did not let himself blush. Sure, Your Highness, you're a good person who cares about the people. Why don't you directly smelt copper on the island in the future? You'll get a rough base and ship it back for fine processing. Zhang Xiaobao was very satisfied with Li Sun, who could say such things. It was good that they had a common language. The three of them gathered together and thought about it one by one. When the sun shone through the clouds and shone on the three of them, it seemed as if there was a golden light. The three of them kept drinking water because of the heat. Feng Changgong stood in the distance and watched, hoping to see something. For example, something happened to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan's families, or they lost money in business and so on. After watching for a long time, he still did not get anything. He ordered the people who followed him, "Go back. Dream-chasing master will be here soon. Go and welcome him." In the Four Seas Academy, the matter that Zhang Xiaobao had just mentioned was happening at this time. Shanbin was at the dock by the sea, directing a group of people to load the scattered cement onto the ship. At this time, small pieces of cement had already appeared, but it was not serious. It could be crushed by hand. This was thanks to the inner courtyard of the Zhang Xiaobao and Wang family. They were afraid that the cement was too dry and dusty, which would affect the health of others, so they sprayed some water. It was not a lot, and the effect was not very good, but they had good intentions. How could Shanbin know that others had helped him out of kindness? He did not know how to preserve the cement. He used his sleeve to cover half of his face and narrowed his eyes. He said to Shanbin, who was also watching the cement being loaded onto the ship, "This time, if we can figure out how to make the cement when we ship back, it will be a great contribution." Yes, Shanbin also thought so. There are also radishes that can grow ginseng, seeds, and 10,000 thermometers that we bought at a high price. I hope we can succeed. When the time comes, our country will not lack ginseng, and we can sell it elsewhere. We don't have money. The money sent by our country has been spent. We still owe 10 ships of silver, ore, and 5 ships of sulfur. After the ship returns to our country and unloads the things, we can return them when we come back. Otherwise, we will be arrested. The people between the clouds and the water will also encourage the great Tang Emperor to forbid other people from entering the Tang Empire. Shanbin said with a little worry. Without money, they could not get close to others. If they could not get close to others, they could not learn skills. It would take at least half a year for the ship to go and return. They had to catch up with the wind. During this time, they could not move around, which would waste a lot of time. Shanbin was also distressed about the money. The Four Seas Academy did have people to teach and ask, but it was impossible to learn good skills. If it was in the past, with a few words of praise and some money, they could learn. But now, there was no one to teach, and all the good skills were controlled. The best skills were in the hands of the Zhang family in Sanshui County. They were even stricter. Many skills were asked for, and it was said that the Tang Empire's imperial court did not have them. This time, they were lucky to get the skills to grow ginseng, but they could not just leave them there. Thinking of the luck last time, Shanbin was tempted again. He said to Shanbin, "I think we should get in touch with Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan in Buxin County more. Maybe we can get the skills when they're not paying attention." Shanbin nodded and then shook his head. This matter can't be done now. Zhang Xiaobao is always thinking about money. Without money, he will definitely not talk to us. But there are many good places in Tang Empire. We can send people to secretly learn and see if it can be used in our country. Well, when the ship leaves, I will arrange for people to learn it. Yamamoto, why don't we use other methods to get some money first? Shanbin took over the matter and proposed a new idea. He meant to use economic means, either to earn money directly or to cheat, but the tendency to cheat was greater. No, you can't. Didn't we suffer enough in Buxin County? Originally, we planned to let them gamble on the silver or at high price. Then, when we found that there was no firewood to use during the refining, we would sell them the wood we bought in the forest. In the end, only a small part of the silver or flowed out. Most of it was kept by Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. It was piled up there and not refined at all. In 2 confrontations, not only did we not earn a copper coin, but we also lost a lot. As long as Tang Empire has Zhang Xiaobao, we can't expect to cheat others, unless a more powerful person comes. This time, Shanbin decisively rejected. He still had a lingering fear when he thought of the 2 confrontations. The rumors were true. Zhang Xiaobao was very proficient in money and liked others to find trouble. As long as Shanbin made a move, he knew that Zhang Xiaobao would participate. Then, he would easily lose the last bit of living expenses. Yamamoto, just now our people sent news that Buixin County is going to draw a branch of the Rushui River that flows through Xinsai County. Li Sun, the son of the Tang dynasty's Prince Li Qingyi, is also building a workshop in Xinsai County. He is the commandery prince of Tang and county in Shuzhou. A person hurried over from the dock and whispered to Yamamoto and Yamamoto. Yamamoto's eyebrows immediately formed the Chinese character Sichuan, indicating that the person had understood. After the person left, he said to Yamamoto, "The forest in Buixin County is probably bought for nothing. Once they draw the river, as long as there is not enough firewood, they can quickly send the firewood from Xinsai County to the place by boat. Then, the straw bought at a high price of 2,000 strings of coins this year is also lost." Yamamoto also said, "Lost. We shouldn't have made a move in Buixin County. It was Feng Changgong from Xinsai County who insisted on benefits. Otherwise, we wouldn't have encountered such a thing in Xinsai County." Yamamoto regretted it. He knew that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had gone to Buixin County, but he was not convinced and insisted on going there to try. Now it was fine. He had lost the first time, but he had also lost the final arrangement. It was really too sullen. What they did this time was not a plan specifically targeted at him. They just conveniently brought him along. Indeed, the river was not directed at the people of the Four Seas Academy, but it was directed at the Academy's purchase of forest and future straw. The sun in Buixin County was warm today. No longer worried about Zhang Xiaobao, Wang Wan, and Old Man Pai, they began to play the role of lecturers and demonstrators again. They explained the history of Jiangyi Province to others in the model area. Now, they were talking about astronomy and geography. Many people who had not been to Jiangyi Province want to go and have a look immediately. Those who did not know the identity of the 2 old men asked about it and sighed again. Ministers and prime ministers were indeed different from ordinary people. With 2 people personally explaining, it was worth the ticket money, even if it was 10 times the price. They were people who could see the emperor every day. While Old Man Bai and the other 2 were talking and demonstrating happily, one after another, horse-drawn carriages rushed over in a long line that stretched as far as the eye could see. The ground was filled with black soil that had accidentally leaked out. Just as they passed by, 3 old men saw them. Old Man Pai personally approached them and asked, "What is this?" The people in the inner courtyard of the Zhang family immediately replied, "It's coal from Shanqing. It's cheap." The young master and the young lady said it would be of great use. Chapter 713. Cart after cart of coalface was sent to the designated place to be filled with water. Old Man Pai and the other 2 stopped performing and telling stories to the tourists. They all went over to see what Xiaobao and Cuckoo were going to do. Are they going to use the coal pancakes? This is something I've only seen the Zhang family and Wang family tell others how to prevent carbon monoxide poisoning when they were burning Kong beds on the north side of the Yellow River. The people here don't burn Kong beds. Old Man Pai looked at the busy people and said to himself, "Let's see, Old Man Chong had only slept on a Kong bed when he came to the capital before the new year. It was hard and he wasn't used to it, but it was warm. He couldn't figure out what Xiaobao and Cuckoo were going to do with a large amount of coal face, so he stood at a high place to watch. Once the coal face was sent to the place, the people in the inner courtyard of the Zhang family organized people to work. They didn't hide it, so anyone who wanted to watch could watch. In addition to the coal face, there was also yellow mud, straw, sorghum stalks, wheat stalks, and charcoal powder left over from burning charcoal at home. The iron molds that had been made long ago were moved outside and put down. Then they began to play with the clay. Someone was in charge of the clay, and someone was in charge of recording. According to different proportions, 100 clay balls mixed with various materials were made of each proportion. They were put into the molds and pressed into cylinders with many holes in the middle. After more than half an hour, more than 30 cylinders of different proportions were made. They were placed outside to dry, and there were people to watch over them. Old Man Yao pulled a maid of the Zhang family over. "Xiao Dao, what are you doing?" In reply to Old Man Yao, the young master and young lady are making honeycomb briquettes to see which proportion is good and which is cost-effective. In the future, we will specially make them for boiling water and cooking. There will be special furnaces with 1 hole for holes and even 9 holes. We will arrange according to the number of people. The coal face is not valuable, and the other things are not valuable either. The honeycomb briquettes can save firewood and feed. The most important thing is that they are convenient to use and won't easily cause a big fire. The maid didn't hide anything and answered all the questions. What's the use of saving firewood? Old Man Yao still couldn't understand. It can be used to make charcoal. Charcoal has more uses, and its price is much higher than honeycomb coal. Most importantly, the more difficult the Yellow River is, the less likely it is to use coal. It is used in the north. Coal is a waste of face, and the rice straw can be used to distill wine. Even if people don't drink it, it can be used in other aspects. This time, the servant girl, Xiao Tao, didn't speak loudly. Instead, she moved closer to Old Man Yao's ear and whispered to him. Old Man Yao Weiwei was stunned. Straw can also be distilled? Even so, you guys still have to surround this place. Now that you've all seen it, it's easy for others to learn it. Don't tell me they're talking about it from the stove. If the young master says it can be done, then it can be done. The young master said that after distilling the straw, it can be made into paper. It will be a pity to burn the good straw and other stalks to feed the cows. You don't have to keep this a secret. The stove is easy to make. You just need to take a look at it. When you get the best ratio, you can post a notice to let others know how to use coal to make honeycomb briquettes. We can use the saved stocks to set up purchase and processing points in various places. Our family has never kept anything that concerns the livelihood of the people a secret. The servant girl knew quite a lot. She answered another question from Old Man Yao. The 3 old men chose to believe her last sentence. If it was said that it wasn't kept a secret, then it really wasn't kept a secret. She had already taken out the methods of raising poultry, interplanting, and rearing. She had also handed over the methods of building greenhouses in the north. However, those were only handed over when the Zhang family and Wang family didn't need to rely on such methods to earn money or when they needed to exchange benefits. Now, was this honeycomb briquettes prepared to be exchanged for benefits? Or was it because they didn't need to rely on it to earn money? It was hard to figure out. Perhaps because she also felt that what she said was a little untenable. The servant girl, Xiao Tao, explained, actually doing this in Boxing County has another purpose, and that is to attack the Four Seas Academy's cross-industry economic strategy. A few days ago, when they came to sell the silver, they had a series of plans. However, they encountered the little young master and didn't wait for their plans to be connected before they were cut off. However, there was still a little trouble after that. The forest they bought and the straw they had to buy at a high price will cause the county to have a shortage of firewood for a certain period of time. Transporting firewood from other places will increase the cost. The little young master's intention is to let others know that as long as he is still around, don't think of using methods to attack the people of the Great Tang to obtain personal benefits. Don't think that you'll get lucky and won't give you any chances. Even if it's just a short-term scheme on firewood and straw, it's better to give up on this idea as soon as possible. When she said these words, Xiao Tao raised her head proudly, as if saying that the world was so big. Who else but her could do it? The 3 old men understood. It turned out that Xiao Bao was angry because the people from the Four Seas Academy still dared to come and find trouble with him after finding out that he was an official in Boxing County. Furthermore, they didn't admit defeat and retreat. He wanted to specifically target the other party once, using the effect of knocking the mountain to scare the tiger and killing the chicken to warn the monkey. It was to tell those who didn't have such thoughts that they shouldn't play tricks in front of him. If they played tricks, as long as he went over, they would have to retreat. There was no room for negotiation. Old Man Chong laughed. "Ah, good. You're domineering enough. You can match up to Cuckoo." It seems that the two of them have indeed inherited the true skills. The most important thing is not simply to defeat others. If it's just a defeat, my good granddaughter Xionaire can also do it. The main thing is that Xiao Bao didn't forget to take the people's livelihood into consideration when he was dealing with his opponent. It's hard to find a hidden plan, but it's hard to find one after another. Yes, the Zhang family is the same as the expert who taught him. At the very least, he should kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Otherwise, he won't be calculating and will have to rely on the 2 of them in the future. Old Man Pai, who understood the way the Zhang family and the Wang family did things, was now relieved. He felt that even if the expert behind the Zhang family and the Wang family died, they didn't have to worry about not having an heir. When the time came, when Xiao Bao and Cuckoo grew up and taught their skills to others, generations of the Tang Empire wouldn't have to worry about sudden crises in the future. Unless the emperor was muddle-headed, such a thing probably wouldn't happen. If the current emperor was muddle-headed, perhaps the experts from the Zhang family and the Wang family could. Li Sun? He couldn't think about this anymore. Thinking of something, Old Man Pai couldn't help but tremble. At the same time, he had a trace of fear for the Zhang family and the Wang family. Old Man Pai wasn't like Old Man Pai, who had followed the Zhang family and the Wang family since Sanshui County. He didn't know the 2 families as well as the Old Man Pai. He didn't know that the Zhang family had always been scheming. When a scheme was used, it was never just for one purpose. Moreover, when the scheme was used, it was hard for people to figure it out. When people saw it, they couldn't stop it even if they wanted to. For example, the promotion of Sanshui County from Zhongxin County to Shaanxi County. All of these were laid out little by little when people didn't expect it. After he fell ill and almost died, he was brought to Shuzhou and gradually integrated into the lives of the Zhang family and the Wang family. Compared to Old Man Pai, he was much worse, but he still knew some of the situation. For example, the construction of Shuzhou, the arrangement of the dam being breached, and various methods in Idyll. When he first learned about Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, they were in 2 different wars. When the 2 joined forces, not only did they win the 2 wars, but they also schemed against the Tubo Empire. They exchanged a lot of livestock for Jianandao at a low price. At that time, no one would have thought that they would immediately counterattack after defeating the Tubo Empire's economic war. According to this, Xiao Bao probably still had a backup plan. Thinking of this, Old Man Yao asked the servant girl, "Xiao Tao, apart from this, what else? What else? What else?" Xiao Tao asked in return. She lowered her head and thought for a while before saying, "Maybe there's more. I heard the young master and the young lady mention that in the future they should make more paper and continue to study printing. This way, more people won't have to worry about paper. Bad paper can be used to make things to hold eggs. It's convenient to transport them and can be used to build houses. I don't know about the rest, but there should be more." The young lady and the young master discussed this matter for 3 days. Similarly, it shouldn't take that long. That means there's more, the 3 old men thought at the same time. After so many things were settled, the 3 old men were in a good mood. Seeing that the honeycomb coal wouldn't dry up in a short time, they ran to the model to have fun. They were very happy. Some people were happy, while others were sad. Zhang Shua was now worried about who he should send to Xiankai County. Firstly, it had to be his own people. Secondly, it had to be someone who could take care of things independently and know when to advance and when to retreat. In the future, Xiankai County wouldn't be as simple as it was now. Zisho, help me think about who should be sent to Xiankai County. It has to be someone who is really capable and can do practical things. He has to be able to deal with the business of the Zhang family and the Wang family. He has to be able to not restrict the business of the Zhang family and the Wang family. What if we send a hothead who doesn't find a fault with the original county magistrate and acts against the business of the Zhang family and the Wang family first. Then we'll be in big trouble. Zhang Sha didn't have an idea at the moment, so he turned to ask Zhang Jiuling, who he had called to discuss this matter with. Zhang Jiuling was also worried. He really didn't want to get involved. He didn't want to offend either side. Could the Zhang family and the Wang family stop them? Even the emperor could only use conditions in exchange, let alone others. When he heard Zhang Shua's question, he had no choice but to say, just send an obedient person with 2 nimble assistants to investigate the accounts of Xiankai County. However, it can't involve Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, let alone Prince Tang. After dealing with Feng, Changgong, and the others, just put away your thoughts and do your job properly. If you run into any trouble, ask Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan for advice. Don't act on your own accord. Just like the officials in Luzhou, as long as you follow the rules, you won't run into any trouble. Zhang Shua had also thought of this point. However, he was worried that Yuan Rong would object and make things difficult for him behind his back. Therefore, he retreated in order to advance. He gave up his position and didn't let the person he arranged go over. Instead, he sent the person on his side who was not capable to Xiankai and waited to watch the show. On his side, there weren't many people who could really do things. There were people who could do things and had passed the imperial examinations. For example, those who passed the imperial examinations in Jinjia Academy would be easy to use. However, they weren't his people. They were from the Zhang family and the Wang family. No, definitely not. After pondering for a long time, Zhang Shua sighed to Wei Wei and said, officials of grade 6 and above can't go. We can only send people from grade 6 to grade 9. Just the 6 of them. Write down 3 names first. As for the other 3, we'll bring them up when others object. All right. When Zhang Jiuling saw that Zhang Shua had already made up his mind, he knew it was useless to object. Chapter 714. Zhang Shua made up his mind. The next morning, it was morning court. He didn't know why the weather was so hot today. It was a little stuffy early in the morning. The moment the sun came out, he could feel sweat seeping out. Today was also a crowded day. All the 5th rank and above people in the capital were here. They stood in 2 rows outside. Fortunately, there were people holding umbrellas for them. Zhang Shua wondered if he should wait until after work to talk to the emperor about the candidates. At the same time, he could also get some tea from the emperor. There wasn't much tea at home. Ever since he had a bad relationship with Cuckoo, Zhang Shua and Wang family didn't bring him any tea when they sent him tea a few days ago. Children were really vengeful. He thought so, but someone wouldn't let him do so. At the start of the morning court, without waiting for Li Longji, who was sitting under 2 umbrellas, to ask about the situation during the spring plowing, Yuan Qianyao suddenly floated out. At least in Zhang Shua's eyes, he was like a ghost. Your Majesty, I heard yesterday that Baoxin County's Registrar Zhang Xiaobao and County Deputy Wang submitted a letter to the Secretariat. They want to fill the positions of the officials promoted from Xiankai County. There are 6 candidates, and I think it's feasible. Yuan Qianyao was afraid that Zhang Shua would secretly say it. If he didn't mention it now, he wouldn't have the chance to participate in it later. He couldn't just blindly follow Zhang Shua. Zhang Shua wasn't the only person in the Secretariat. If he couldn't find out about this, he wouldn't be able to be the Prime Minister. Li Longji didn't know about this and didn't directly say anything. Instead, he glanced at Gao Lishur. Gao Lishur was also puzzled. How did Xiao Bao and Cuckoo go through the proper channels? It might be so for other officials, but it wasn't right for them. Zhang Zhong didn't seem to have gone through the proper channels many times. Xiao Bao and Cuckoo always directly wrote to him about what they wanted to do and let the emperor know through him. Then they would achieve their goals. Gao Lishur, who couldn't figure it out and didn't understand, gave Li Longji a blank look. Seeing that Gao Lishur didn't know, Li Longji became interested and asked Yuan Qianyao, how can Xiankai County be promoted to a county? Tell me. This simple sentence made all the officials envious and jealous. It wasn't because the emperor asked about the promotion of Zhong County, But because the emperor didn't mention when the registrar and deputy county magistrate of Baoxing County would be in charge of Kai County, it was as if what Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan said was very normal. That was how it should be to catch up with the censorate. The officials of the censorate and the Ministry of Rights resisted the urge to stand up and tell the emperor that this matter was against the rules. They just stood there and selectively lost their hearing. Yuan Xinyao wasn't thinking about this either. He replied to Li Longji, "Your Majesty, Commandery Prince Tang, and wishes to build a few businesses in Kai County to improve the living standards of the local people. Baoxing County's registrar, Zhang Xiaobao, and deputy county magistrate, Wang should be helping to preside over matters in Kai County. Oh no, they should be in Kai County to see how they can manage Baoxing County together. This plan is divided into 4 steps. Once these 4 steps are done, the corresponding education and medical treatment will follow. At that time, the population of the county will definitely exceed 5,000 people. Therefore, there are 6 candidates for the replacement of positions: Chun Shi, Zhang Han. Yuan Xianyao didn't forget about the 6 candidates when he told Li Longji the details of the matter. They were all Yuan Rong's men. Although they weren't really his men, he could still give Zhang Han a blow. When the officials heard this, their eyes swept back and forth between Yuan Rong and Zhang Han, wanting to see their reactions. Under normal circumstances, even the county magistrate of Shaanxi County was only a secondary class, grade 6 local official. No one in the capital cared about the officials. If they were really appointed, they would be demoted. However, once the Zhang family and Wang family were involved, things would not be so simple. In the beginning, it was Sanshui County. Now, no one could send an official there. If they wanted to send an official there, they would have to first be a scribe and slowly rise up the ranks. Who would want to directly send a county magistrate there? Dream on. Not even the registrar or deputy magistrate could be sent there, let alone a county magistrate. It was about the same for Huayuan County. There was also Luzhou, Yi Prefecture, and Shu Prefecture where Commandery Prince Tang was located. These were the places where the Zhang family and Wang family had been before. Once there was a position, they would do anything to squeeze into it. They would rather not take the position in the capital first. After 2 years, they would definitely be able to come back. Those with idle positions would have real power. Those from the Ministry of Rights would be able to go to the Ministry of War or the Ministry of Revenue. This was a shortcut. As long as they were not stupid and went against people when they went there, they would have a golden signboard that was extremely dazzling. Currently, no one knew who would be able to take over the position of Baoxing County. The neighboring Kai County was also targeted by the Zhang family and Wang family. They had already started building a complete set of facilities. Would there be any shortage in the future? Li Longji knew what all the officials knew. If Xiao Bao and Wang Wan really got involved, Kai County would become very prosperous in the future. They would be able to pay a lot of taxes every year. Unfortunately, Zhang Zhong could no longer be sent to be the provincial governor. The people from the Zhang family and Wang family could not be sent to be local officials for the time being. Otherwise, they would really want to disperse. At that time, they would have more money. They could do whatever they wanted and fight wherever they wanted. The 6 people who were promoted were all minor officials. Li Longji did not know who they belonged to. His eyes followed the direction of the officials' gazes. When he saw them, he understood. They were actually Zhang Shua and Yuan Rong's men. If Zhang Shua knew what Li Longji was thinking, he would be so angry that he would vomit blood. None of those 6 people were his men. His men had all gone through the imperial examinations. Look at those 6 people. Some of them were shady, and some of them slowly worked their way up. None of them were even in this life. At this time, Li Longji spoke. What do you think? After he asked, he did not forget to look at Gao Lishur. He meant to say that Gao Lishur should also think about it. Don't send the wrong person. If you really send a stupid person there, he would find trouble with the Zhang family and Wang family for no reason and delay the tax collection. Gao Lishur replied to Li Longji with a look of understanding. He stood there and began to think. He knew that the best candidate was not someone who had accumulated experience in the local areas. nor was he someone who had gone through the imperial examinations. He had to be someone who had been sponsored or taught by the Zhang family and Wang family. The best candidate was, of course, someone who had graduated from the Jinjia Academy. Those who had passed the imperial examinations could be arranged as they wished. If they were asked to write history, they would do it. If they were asked to do something, they would do it. They would never make any mistakes. This was because these people wanted to take the imperial examinations. They would have to report to the academy a year in advance. The academy would specially set questions for them. They had to pass within a year before they were allowed to take the imperial examinations. Otherwise, even if they were capable and could get a place as a high scholar elsewhere, they would not be able to pass the imperial examinations. Those who graduated from the Jinjia Academy were all very capable. He had also heard that the examination questions were different every year. Some would send you out to be a registrar. The deputy county magistrate and county magistrate were in cahoots. Your good ideas would all be suppressed, and you would be asked what to do. Some would send you to places that were prone to floods. When you were the county magistrate, the officials below would not cooperate with you. The provincial central government and the imperial court would not allocate money to you. How could you minimize the disasters caused by floods? All the examination questions would not be asked in person. Instead, they would give you a map and arrange for people to complete the personnel involved in the examination questions. When you were the county magistrate, you would be like a real county magistrate in the year of the examination. There would be others who would cooperate with you or not. They would play supporting roles. The difficulty of the examination was definitely higher than real life. There would even be unruly people who would cause trouble. The local gentry would be powerful. How could those who could accept such an examination and survive it be easy to deal with? It was really comfortable to use such people. When a place was in trouble, they would be sent to be officials. That would save them a lot of trouble. However, all the places that the Zhang family and Wang family had been to, except for Sanshui County, could not be arranged anywhere else. Otherwise, it would be terrible. If they really worked together, it would be like the wind following the tiger and the clouds following the dragon. No matter what, they had to be suppressed. While Gao Lishir was thinking about this, the imperial court had already started to quarrel. Some people said that any of the 6 people could be chosen and that 3 people would be enough. Some people specifically picked 3 people. There were also people who rejected the 6 people one by one, saying that none of them could be chosen. At this time, Zhang Shua had not said anything. It was not time for him to stand up personally. Naturally, he would have his own people to help him. Time passed quietly like this. Li Longji was not in a hurry. He asked someone to bring tea and sat there to drink. When the officials of the Ministry of Rites saw the emperor drinking tea, they also chose to be blind. As the sun rose, it was getting hotter and hotter. What if the emperor's body could not bear it and fainted? Just drink a little. Li Longji watched the commotion and planned to eat something later to prolong the morning court. When he heard the excuses of the people below, he felt that it was very interesting. He signaled Gao Lishir to come closer and said, "Lishir, what do you think about sending 3 people who passed the examination of Jinjia Academy?" "Oh, there's no need for 3. 1 is enough. Jinjia Academy's examination is stricter than the imperial examination." Gao Lishir wanted to nod and agree. If he sent 3 people from the academy, then Xiao Bao and Cuckoo would have less to worry about. However, he could not and could only reply, "Your Majesty, I think that's not right. The people from Jinjia Academy should be sent to places where they are needed more. Xiao Bao and Cuckoo are overseeing Xian Kai County, so we don't have to worry about them at all. Moreover, even if the officials sent are not good, Xiao Bao and Cuckoo will have ways to deal with them. He Wei, whom I asked them to deal with, is not only not on a business trip, but also learn a lot. He is not greedy and is wholeheartedly devoted to the people. This is all thanks to Xiao Bao and Cuckoo's teachings. It was precisely because of this that Li Longji was not in a hurry. He really did not believe that the 3 local officials sent could avoid Xiao Bao and Cuckoo's methods when they were disobedient. If there really was such a person, they should be given a better position. After hearing Gao Lishir's words, he was also very satisfied with him. He did not help his adopted son gain any benefits. How loyal? He nodded slightly and said, "Why don't we order Zhang Zhong to set up an academy in Luoyang? We can find people from the Jixin courtyard to teach there. I don't think Luoyang is good. Why don't we build an academy in Wanyan County? When Zhang Zhong comes to the capital, there will be someone there to manage it," Gao Lishur suggested. The two of them talked about other things while the people below were quarreling. When the monarch and subject were almost done talking, Zhang Shua finally spoke. Chapter 7:15. As soon as Zhang Shua finished speaking, the court was suddenly silent. All the officials looked at Zhang Shua differently. Cui Riji was now a secondary grade 3 official. Zhang Shua was going to promote him to a secondary grade 6 official. This was a huge drop in rank. If one were to calculate secondary grade 3, primary grade 4, secondary grade 4, secondary grade 4, secondary grade 4, secondary grade 6, how much would his rank drop? Furthermore, he would be demoted from a capital official to a local official. His salary would also change. But thinking about it carefully, the position of palace supervisor was indeed too idle. It did not have any real power. It was better to go to a different place before being promoted to a better position. If Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan heard this, they would know that this was called a high rank. In order to promote people, they could first promote a person to a department level and give him a very idle position. For example, this person could be promoted in 3 to 5 years. At that time, the department level official would be demoted to a small county in a second-grade city to be a county magistrate or secretary. This position was originally a department level official. At most, it would be a department level official. But if it was a small position, there would not even be a deputy department level official. It seemed very reasonable. The department level official would be promoted to a department head position, a high rank. If he continued to work, he would be promoted to the provincial level and not to the local city. This time, he would have some power and authority. After that, he would be demoted to the level of a divisional leader with real power. In less than 15 years, he would be promoted to the position of a real leader. If he was not a mayor, he would be a deputy mayor or a deputy secretary. After 2 more years of training, in a normal city, the secretary would also be the mayor or deputy mayor. In a better city, he would only be in charge of politics and be the secretary. After that, he would be promoted to the position of a high official. Switching back and forth, those who did not know would think that they were promoted and demoted. In fact, they were promoted step by step. This was what Zhang Shua had in mind. He wanted to drop down first. After all, it wasn't easy to change his position in the Hall of Supervisors, so he might as well take a detour and get promoted. At the same time, he could earn more money. Who didn't want to be an official in a place where the Zhang and Wang families had been before? If one did a good job and didn't cause trouble, when the place developed, they would immediately receive a large sum of money the moment they left their post, especially in Sanshui County. Although he couldn't get any benefits when he was a county magistrate, the county would take care of all his family's needs. He couldn't even spend his salary. Of course, he didn't need to save it. After a few years, he wouldn't make any mistakes. When he was promoted, he could get a sum of money from the county magistrate. It was a sum that he couldn't even get when he was a county magistrate. It was enough for 3 generations to spend without waste. Until now, no one had dared to do as they wished, insisting on being greedy and accepting bribes. I don't think it's appropriate. Cui Riji is an official of the capital. What if he can't figure it out when he goes to the local area? How can he handle political affairs? An official stood up and objected. That's not right. Back then, His Majesty had specially promoted the local officials to the capital and sent them down to allow the government to pass. Why can't he do it now? Zhang Shua's people immediately responded. As a result, the two sides quarreled again. In the end, they let the emperor make the decision. Li Longji didn't care who was sent. In any case, it was the same no matter who went. Besides, he still had to give Zhang Shua some face, so he agreed to Zhang Shua's suggestion. After Cui Riji's appointment was announced, Yuan Rong's side couldn't accept it. After thinking about it, he also said, "Your Majesty, I think the position of registrar should be taken by the current imperial secretary, Li Linfu. All the officials were stunned. Just now, a third-rank official was sent down. This time, it was a fourth-rank official. It seemed that compared to the Zhang Shuo and Wang families, the officials in the capital were worthless. A sixth-rank official was sent down, and all the officials below were high-ranking officials. Similarly, after arguing for a while, Li Longji also agreed to let Li Linfu go. Li Linfu didn't know that his destiny had been changed by someone else. As for the third position, it was arranged by Li Longji himself. He sent a county magistrate from another county, the kind that was also very stupid, similar to He Wei. He was going to send it over to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang want to deal with. A blue flame rose faintly, and a kettle sat on top of it. Many people were watching. Maid Xiaodao held a honeycomb briquette in her hand and explained to the people watching, "This is honeycomb briquette, and that is a stove made from honeycomb briquette. It's simple to make and easy to use. It takes longer to burn than normal firewood. If you make it yourself, 20 honeycomb briquettes will only cost you 1 copper coin. When the river was connected, the coal would be shipped in by boat. Some people would say, I don't need to spend money to burn firewood. I burn firewood every year. I don't need to fork out a single copper coin. I have to make both coal and a furnace." Actually, that's not the case. We won't let everyone spend this money for nothing. If you have firewood, you can take it out and sell it to us. We will buy it at a high price. We are willing to buy a cart of inferior firewood for 5 copper coins, but a cart of good firewood can be sold for 8 or 10 copper coins. Some people will say that a cart of firewood can burn for a month, but if you make honeycomb briquettes, 10 pieces can only burn for a day. In that case, even if you make 10 carts of firewood less than a year, you won't be able to make any money. But if you make firewood and sell it, you can have a cart full of firewood in 2 to 3 days. Isn't that a profit? Also, we have another plan. That is, as long as you sell your firewood to us, we will provide you with coal and other things for free. Think about it. A big bundle of straw can only make a meal. Sometimes, it may not be enough, such as stewing, which is very fire-consuming. Honeycomb briquette is different. At most, 2 pieces of honeycomb briquette can make a stew very mushy. Moreover, it's very easy to use. You can use it even in winter. Put a wire net on it, and you can even roast food. Maid Shouthouse summed up the speech by herself and tried her best to explain it to the people. However, the people didn't listen at all. Even if she performed better than Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, she couldn't move the people's hearts. At this time, He Wei came out and shouted at the top of his voice, "Our county's official Zhang and county deputy Wang, who are Xiaobao and Cuckoo, need firewood and straw. Therefore, they ask you to make honeycomb briquettes. Don't waste them." As soon as he shouted, the people suddenly swarmed over and carefully looked at the honeycomb briquettes in Xiaodao's hand. Some people went to see how to make the stove, and some began to ask in detail how to use the honeycomb briquettes more economically. No one was watching from the side, and no one in the county hesitated. If Xiao Chong and Izhou saw this, he would have a deeper understanding of what Zhang Xiaobao meant when he said that the people could also support you. He Wei's honest words were more effective than Xiaodao's lively speech. The people didn't understand the principles, but they knew how to choose. When they heard that it was Xiaobao and Cuckoo who needed it, all their hesitation was cast away. Old Man Pai looked up at the sky and sighed. He said to Old Man Yao, "This is the human heart." It was like this in Luzhou. Zhang Zhong called for help, and thousands of people responded. No one doubted him at all. Even now, when I think about that scene, it still makes me feel emotional. Old Man Yao was a little jealous. As the Prime Minister, he couldn't do this. He didn't expect that the reputation of the 2 little guys could be so effective. It seemed that it was right to not let Zhang Zhong be a local official again. Otherwise, if he called for a rebellion, the local people would probably follow suit. Xiaodao didn't expect things to be so simple. She only needed to mention the young master and the young lady, and the people could accept it. She was surrounded by the people and began to explain the formula. She also told them where the coal face was shipped from. The place next to Xiang City was more than 200 miles away from here. It was along the Ru River. When the time came, they could sell the things here there. The travel cost was not much, and a ship could carry a lot of coal face. The people listened carefully. They thought it was troublesome just now. If there was firewood, why would they need to make a honeycomb coal? However, it was different now. Xiao, Bao, and Cuckoo needed it, so they naturally had to support them. As long as they didn't lose money, it didn't matter whether they earned or not. The people who stayed here also came closer to listen. When they saw the expressions of the people around them, they shook their heads helplessly. He knew that the plan of the higher-ups had failed again, and it was a complete failure. Although the Zhang family and the Wang family said that they were buying firewood and straw, they definitely wouldn't leave any loopholes for others to exploit. When the time came, they would definitely have other ways to control it. When the honeycomb coal could be sold, Zhang Xiaobao, Wang Wan, and Li Sun were still at the construction site in Xinsai County, watching the construction scene. The workshop couldn't be built in a day. Even if the people were working hard for the sake of quality, they had to wait for a lot of time. They had to wait for the previous place to dry up before they could move on to the next step. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't expect to be able to build one floor in 3 days. If that was the case, 6 days would be enough. This was because there wasn't a need for buildings that were too tall. 2 floors were enough. 1 floor for work and the other floor for raw materials. If there was a special place for processing, they could put the raw materials below and live on the top floor. Your Royal Highness, are you going to stay here tonight? Why are you looking for us to chat? This official is still sleepy. I really can't afford to accompany you. Zhang Xiaobao looked at the sky and saw that Li Sun didn't seem to want to leave, so he asked him, "Isn't it just that we haven't seen each other for a long time? I just want to talk to you. When we talk, you eat grilled fish. Otherwise, you have to eat supper too. It's the same. At most, I'll go to bed early tonight. Can you bear to chase me away?" Li Sun had an aggrieved expression. Unfortunately, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't believe him, who asked him to show such good acting skills when he was talking to Feng Changgong. Zhang Xiaobao shook his head and said, "Don't say such things. You should set a time to rest first. Otherwise, Cuckoo and I will go back to the county and not come out." "Time? How about it at midnight? I know that you're moved by love. It's a pity that I haven't found my other half yet." Li Sun gave him a time and then continued to complain. I'm jealous. I can't do it at midnight. At the very least, I can't get up tomorrow." Zhang Xiaobao wanted to explain that he couldn't do anything now, but he suddenly realized that it was useless to explain. He could only set a time. Chapter 716. When the moon rose before the sun set, it was time for the workers to rest. Those who lived nearby could go home, and those who lived far away could live in tents. 3 meals were provided a day. These days, dinner was always the best, and there was also a bowl of wine. It was the same as what the Zhang family and Wang family used to do. Today, because Li Sun wanted to eat barbecue, the entire construction site started barbecuing. There were no vegetables, so they could only drink soup. The people here were not used to eating barbecued vegetables. Li Sun ate different from the others. The others barbecued a small portion of mutton, mostly chicken and pork. Each person had a fish, as they did not like to eat barbecued fish. During the preparation, Li Sun began to wander around with a few guards. He looked here and there, and occasionally stopped to talk to others. The people working now knew who this person was. He was a member of the imperial family, Li Sun, Prince Tang. If it was just this name, the commoners would only talk about it occasionally in their free time for the sake of novelty. However, Li Sun was definitely not so easily forgotten. Who was good and who was bad? The commoners were not stupid. Of course, they knew. How the commoners of Shuzhou were doing now could be found out from the mouths of the merchants who came and went. What they didn't expect was that this legendary member of the royal family was actually so amiable. He smiled at everyone he saw and didn't have a condescending tone when he spoke. He didn't wear the silk clothes of ordinary rich people, but light blue cloth clothes, which were said to be made of white fold. This kind of clothes did not look rich at all. One could only tell the difference if they looked closely at the stitches, the workmanship, and the dark patterns embroidered on it. When you barbecue this kind of fish, remember to put oil on it. Look, yours is burnt. Also, turn it over immediately after you sprinkle the salt. Don't let the salt stay on the fish. It's not salted fish. We didn't catch enough prawns today. Otherwise, we would have barbecued them for you. Li Sun walked to a barbecue table under the respectful gaze of the crowd and explained how to barbecue to the people sitting there. In fact, other people knew how to barbecue, but they didn't do it that way. The barbecuers consciously dissolved the salt in the water, made a small plate, and gently brushed it on the fish. They flipped it diligently and didn't put any oil at all. At this time, after hearing Li Sun's words, the person in charge of the roasting nodded and replied, "Your Highness, it's too wasteful to put oil on the roasted food. It's also not easy to use salt. It's better to save as much as possible. Don't be thrifty. I'm letting you eat so that you can eat well. If you're thrifty, I wouldn't have prepared these for you. Just eat what you should eat. Don't worry, this little bit of food comes from your work. As long as you work hard, you'll be worthy of the food." Li Sun finally understood. It turned out that he wasn't the only one who was smart. They weren't stupid either. They just couldn't bear to part with the food. He hurriedly persuaded them and gave the task of persuading them. He had the guards look everywhere. After looking around, he returned. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had already prepared everything. In addition to the food for others, there were also the shrimp that they caught and the cow that Li Sun had people look for during the day that accidentally fell to its death. He didn't know why the cow was so stupid. It threw a tantrum while plowing the field for a long time. In the end, someone secretly found someone to sell it. Didn't it fall to its death? After picking up a piece of meat and putting it on the barbecue, Li Sun suddenly asked Zhang Xiaobao, "Xiaobao, who do you think the imperial court will send to take over Feng Changgong's current position? I don't like him. He came here during the day again. He didn't know anything and just talked nonsense. He even brought a Taoist priest with him to look around. I don't think he has any good intentions." Zhang Xiaobao put 2 shrimp on the barbecue. He slowly flipped through it and said, "It doesn't matter who they send, as long as there is a result. If Feng Changgong didn't find a Taoist priest, he might be able to stay in an idle position for a while. Now that the Taoist priest has found him, he's finished. Don't you want him to go to your place to spend money? You have to hurry up, or you won't have a chance. I have to teach him a lesson. In public, he doesn't have any ability. In order to promote Zhongxian to Shangxian, he actually sent people to other places to find refugees. I heard that he has a room in his house where the statue of Yama is enshrined. Every day, he has to worship it and burn an incense stick. It's not a big deal. The problem is that he wants the surrounding places to suffer disasters so he can attract refugees to replenish the population. In private, this is the most important thing. He has offended me and Cuckoo. He knew we wanted to divert the river, but he insisted on stopping us. Even if he's a saint, I won't let him have an easy time. Otherwise, if word of this spreads in the future, won't anyone be able to offend us?" Li Sun could understand Zhang Xiaobao. Although Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were usually easygoing, they would not have an easy time if someone targeted them. Even if they did not die, they would lose a layer of skin. Back then, when they were in Luzhou, how badly were those officials tortured by them? If they were dreaming now, it would be a nightmare. However, he could not think of how Zhang Xiaobao would deal with Feng Changgong. Hence, he asked, "Xiaobao, you can't just let him do it there, right? The people will believe you." "Of course, I can't let them do that. It won't be effective. I have to help them do it. I have to let the people know that there's a Taoist priest called Dream Chaser who's very powerful. He can reach the heavens and the earth, let alone the rise and fall of Xian Kai County. He can even see the major events in the world. I've decided. I'll meet him tomorrow and see what he's capable of. If he's really powerful, I'll commend him for it. I can't let a capable person overlook it," Zhang Xiaobao said to Li Sun. At this time, the prawns had turned red. He took the ones that were hot and skinned them bit by bit. When the first prawn was placed on the plate that Wang Wan brought over, he said to Wang Wan, "Peel the next one yourself. Don't always bully me. The ones I peel aren't as fragrant as the ones you peel." "Xiaobao, where's the Taoist priest we hired? Didn't you say you wanted to fight poison with poison?" Wang Wan bit off a third of the prawn and smiled at Zhang Xiaobao. "He's here. Our master is His Royal Highness, Prince Tang, and Zhang Xiaobao raised his chin and pointed at Li Sun. How can it be me? I don't know how to do it. Li Sun quickly shook his head and refused. How can it not be you? You ate the meat I made, so you have to do some work. If you don't know how to do it, you can learn. In fact, you don't need to know too much. Tomorrow, I'll put on a disguise for you. You just need to do as I say. You'll definitely be able to make Feng Changgong apologize. Otherwise, not only him, but his family will be finished. Zhang Xiaobao said to Li Sun as he roasted a prawn for Wang Wan. Li Sun stared at Zhang Xiaobao's movements. Then I'll try, but don't blame me if I mess up. Slow down, let me see clearly. Li Sun also wanted to learn Zhang Xiaobao's cooking skills. When the time came, she could either cook for herself or for her future wife. Even if she could cook for the servants, it would be good to get a few compliments. Ever since he met Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, he never thought that there was anything wrong with men cooking. Which of the real good cooks were not men? Zhang Xiaobao really couldn't understand Li Sun's thoughts. He tried to slow down and said while roasting the prawns, "The best prawns are actually turned by hand. I don't want to burn my hands. If the prawns become blisters and become calluses, it will affect the sensitivity of my hands. I can also write and draw. Many scholars don't want to do rough work because of this. The advantage of roasting prawns by hand is that you can pinch them during the roasting process. If you use chopstick for a long time, your wrist will be sore. Besides, it's not as good as your hands. When Cuckoo and I eat salted prawns, the shells are still intact. In fact, the same goes for roasted prawns. If you pinch them accurately, Wei Wei will lift the head and pinch the tail, and the whole shell will come off." "Oh, so that's the case. Then, don't you know how to wear gloves?" Li Sun was really thinking about how to cook. You can wear gloves, but you need to practice for a long time. Otherwise, it won't feel good. If you want your hands to be soft, remember to soak more milk. Zhang Xiaobao finished roasting the prawns and blew on them a few times before peeling them. The peeled meat naturally went into Wang Wan's open mouth. Just as Li Sun nodded, he suddenly reacted. "What do you mean by not being able to write and draw well? You want to use a flying knife, but you're afraid that you won't be able to do it properly, right?" Same. Don't always talk about such violent things. We're civilized people. Don't eat that burnt meat. Take the fins from the side. After roasting the beef once, you can eat slowly. I'll take the fins away and show you how to roast the whole fish. That thing's tail can easily be roasted off if you're not careful. Zhang Xiaobao put his prawn into his mouth and chewed it together with the shell. Night finally came. Some of the people who worked during the day went home, while others went into the tent to sleep. They didn't chat, so as not to delay tomorrow's work. Numerous torches were lit. Another group of people came here and began to continue their work during the day. There were people working 24 hours nonstop, hoping to finish the work as soon as possible. Zhang Xiaobao finally persuaded Li Sun to go to sleep. He and Wang Wan lay in the tent, but they couldn't fall asleep. The two of them opened the skylight above the tent and covered the blanket tightly, only revealing a pair of eyes to look at the stars. It seems that there won't be rain tomorrow. The sky is clear. Wang Wan looked at the stars and said, "That's not necessarily true. Maybe there will be a rain shower. If it were in Shanghai, who dares to say whether there will be rain or not?" Zhang Xiaobao's mind was not on the weather, but his ears were listening to the sound of mosquitoes flying around and said, "What's the situation in Shanghai like now? I hate mosquitoes. If they want to sting, hurry up and do it. They're buzzing and annoying." Wang Wan tidied up the blanket to avoid being bitten by mosquitoes. "I haven't seen it yet. It should still be connected to here. It said that it was later separated because of the movement of the Earth's crust. It's useless to go there now. It's impossible to develop foreign trade there. The only advantage is to build a port so that other warships won't dare to go there easily." Chapter 717. In the night, some people really couldn't sleep. It had nothing to do with mosquitoes or the sound of people working at the construction site. They just couldn't sleep because they were too excited. The invited Taoist chaser dream had finally arrived. He had even gone over to take a look during the day, but he couldn't sleep at night no matter what. Feng Changgong had no choice but to find the registrar and the county magistrate. They sat in the yard and looked at the moon in the sky and drank. Fill it up and taste the cooked prawns. The Taoist chaser dream just told me that tomorrow the people will go home and hide. They won't dare to come out again. Feng Changgong was in a good mood. He poured wine for the registrar and the county magistrate and said to them while looking at the moon, "I wish you great success. Cheers." The registrar was good at talking. He raised the cup and drank the wine. The county magistrate also drank a cup and said, "Sir, this time no one will dare to look down on you. But I'm worried that if you offend Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, will their parents come? If you hurt the younger one, the older one won't be able to stand it." He said that he was worried, but the meaning in his words couldn't be more clear. He didn't take Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan seriously. Feng Changgong liked to hear this kind of words. He laughed and said, "If the older one comes, I won't be afraid. He can't control me, right? It's good to let people know that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan are not so powerful. Besides, the people behind us are not bad." "That's right. Sir, how can you be bad?" The registrar still flattered, but there was no joy in his eyes. Instead, there was infinite worry. The other two people didn't notice him. They clinked their cups back and forth and talked loudly under the stars and moon. After drinking until midnight, the three of them parted ways and went back to their respective homes. After walking for a while, the registrar stopped when he saw that there was no one around. He turned around and walked in another direction. After crossing 2 streets, he came to a courtyard and knocked on the door of the courtyard, making 3 long knocks and 2 short knocks. After a while, the door was pulled open from the inside. He hurriedly dashed in. The person who opened the door stuck his head out and looked at both sides before he felt relieved and closed the door again. The registrar entered the courtyard but did not go into the house. Instead, he stood there and said to the person who closed the door, "Tell the higher-ups that our eyes have been set out. We will see the results in a month." "Understood." The person who had just opened the door replied and didn't say anything else. The registrar went around a room and disappeared into the woodshed behind it. The person who spoke just now went into the room and said to another person, "Leave immediately and tell the higher-ups that the county magistrate of Xian Kai County, Feng Changgong, is going to attack the Zhang family and the Wang family. Tell them to pay attention to the news in the capital and don't miss any important information. The Zhang family and the Wang family have the ability to make money, and they don't lack the ability to scheme against others in business. They also have people who can fight. This time, we will see how the other party is in the officialdom so that we can make a plan. As long as they are here, we can't do what we want." The person in the room was wrapped in black cloth from head to toe, leaving only a pair of eyes exposed. When he heard the words of the person who came in, he immediately jumped out of the open window and hid in the half-moon night. After about 15 minutes, the registrar appeared in another room. He covered the hole that was exposed when he came out with a wooden board and sprinkled a layer of soil on it. Then he walked out the door in front of him. No one else showed up in the room. When he walked out of the room, there was a 2-story building in front of him. From time to time, he could hear the laughter of a woman and the drunken words of a man. After passing through the 2-story building, the registrar appeared on the side of a street. He looked back at the signboard with the words Ro Chun Pavilion written on it and left with a strange smile. But as he walked, he felt that something was wrong. He looked back at the empty street and the worry in his eyes intensified. He muttered, "Should I really not do this? Will I be exposed? My superiors have told me not to do anything in the place where the Zhang family and the Wang family live. Why don't I feel anything? Yes, I don't feel anything." After saying this, the registrar continued to walk forward, but he felt very uncomfortable in his chest. After turning a corner, 2 figures suddenly appeared in front of him, which scared him. "Let me touch it. Oh, what's so soft? Let me touch it again. You are so bad. We're still outside. Why don't you have a good relationship with me? Is it really not good? Then why are you walking with your legs between your legs? You still say that. It's all your fault." Until the sound of a man and a woman flirting was heard, the registrar who was hiding in the shadow of a house was relieved. He cursed the adulterous couple in his heart. After the 2 people passed by, he flashed out of the shadow and continued to walk back. He staggered twice and began to talk. "I'm not drunk. You don't need to help me. Why are you wearing so little clothes? Come, let me see. I told you not to help me, but you still want to help me." As they spoke, they walked, completely oblivious to the fact that the adulterous pair had changed their appearance. The woman headed for the soft spring pavilion, while the man took out a set of gray clothes from his bosom. He took off his light blue clothes and changed into them. Then he took out an item and threw it on the roof. He then kicked the wall twice and leaped up. He jumped from house to house, occasionally stopping to hide in the shadow on the other side of the roof. He followed the registrar, who had just left while talking drunkenly. After he went up the roof, two people appeared where he had just been standing. One of them had a dog. Their clothes were gray and black. Even the dog's body had the same pattern. The person without the dog changed into a set of light yellow clothes and tied a xiaoyao scarf around his head before walking in the direction of the soft spring pavilion. The other person let go of the dog and walked around to another street. The dog stuck to the corner of the house by itself and walked along the road in front of him without making a sound. The next morning, Zhang Xiaobao opened his eyes and looked at Wang, who was hugging him like a fish. He sighed and muttered, "No wonder I dreamed last night that the police caught me. They were worried that I would run away, so they handcuffed me so tightly. I knew it. Who could catch me? Who caught you? I'll help you untie them." Wang was not awake yet. Perhaps she heard Zhang Xiaobao's voice and said something in her sleep. "Go to sleep. No one can catch me, let alone a broken handcuff. What's the use of twisting my arm to the back? The joint will come out. Why haven't the people of the first team come back yet? They're not as good as Huzi and the others." Zhang Xiaobao adjusted the blanket for Wang. Seeing that it was just dawn, he went back to sleep. When Li Sun came to find the two of them, Wang was complaining to Zhang Xiaobao that he did not make a sound after waking up. It would have been better if he had made some noise. She would have been able to wake up immediately. Zhang Xiaobao had a helpless expression on his face. He told Wang that they should indeed live separately. Otherwise, their vigilance would disappear. Li Sun had just woken up and had not washed his face. He heard half of the conversation and thought that they were talking about him. He explained, "Although I was in the tent next to yours last night, I didn't hear anything. There was no movement at all." "Thank you." Zhang Xiaobao patted Li Sun's shoulder and walked out. "Hurry up and wash up. What can you hear? No one's a good person," Wang said, and also went out. Li Sun stood there and muttered, "I'm telling the truth. I really didn't hear anything. Why we have to live separately? Young face, young face, young face." When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang were about to eat, a guard came over and said to the two, "Young master, young lady, there's something wrong with the registrar. Number 105 and number 106 did not come back. I think they went with someone. There is something wrong with another place." Continue. Zhang Xiaobao wanted to train others this time. Otherwise, it would have been better if he went out alone. He did not comment and just left these two words and went to eat. Li Sun just finished eating with Zhang Xiaobao and Wang. Feng Changgong arrived. This time, there are not so many officials. There were only 12 Yamen runners, including him, the registrar, the county magistrate, and a Taoist priest. Zhang Xiaobao looked at them and found that Feng Changgong had dark circles under his eyes. The registrar also had dark circles under his eyes. The Taoist priest, who he saw with a telescope yesterday, had a red face. Feng Changgong had dark circles under his eyes, but he seemed to be in good spirits. As soon as he arrived, he bowed to Li Sun and greeted Zhang Xiaobao. "Registrar Zhang, how is your cultivation? Come, let me introduce you. This is the dream-chasing Taoist priest from Dragon Tiger Mountain." Taoist priest, this is the registrar of Buixin County, Zhang Xiaobao. Although he is young, he is very capable. Dragon Tiger Mountain? There's a place like this now? Dream-chasing Taoist priest is indeed immortal. Zhang Xiaobao asked in puzzlement and praised the Taoist priest. "Little friend, you are wrong. What is immortal and what is bone?" Dream-chasing Taoist priest swung his horsetail whisk and pulled it over. Wang looked at them from the side and did not say anything. She turned her head to the side and thought, "You still want to play this game with Xiao Bao? Xiao Bao is going to trick you to death." Zhang Xiaobao really wanted to play with the other party, but considering that he had to deal with an important place in the construction site today, he did not have time to do it. He could only smile and pull Wang Wan to another place. When he left, he didn't forget to give Li Sun a meaningful glance. Li Sun didn't make any response. Instead, she ignored the Taoist priest and turned to leave. No one knew where she went. Feng Changgong, who felt that he was treated coldly, had an ugly expression. After a while, he smiled at dream-chasing Taoist priest and said, "Taoist priest, please follow me. Of the 3 people just now, one is Prince Tang, and the other 2 are the registrar and deputy magistrate of Buixin County. Although they are young, they are very capable. I heard that no one has ever been able to gain an advantage over them." Dream-chasing Taoist priest had actually heard about them from Feng Changgong yesterday. When he heard again today, he still had the same smile. Wei Wei nodded and began to walk around the riverside openly. When he reached the construction site, he flipped his hand and suddenly a compass appeared. He looked around with the compass and shook his head from time to time. If it was in the past, the people would have gathered around to watch. However, no one in the construction site paid attention to him. They were all busy building houses in anticipation of a better life in the future. Seeing the reaction of the people, Feng Changgong felt even more uncomfortable. The registrar next to him still had a flattering smile on his face. The deputy magistrate also frowned. Dream-chasing Taoist priest was still indifferent. He continued to walk along the riverside. After about 100 steps, he suddenly stopped and looked at the compass and said, "This is not right. This is not right. This is not right. Men are in charge of yang, while women are in charge of concealment. Why is this place so feminine when the sun shines directly? Disaster. This is a disaster." "Disaster? What disaster?" "Taoist priest, can you say it clearly?" Before Feng Changgong could say anything, the registrar asked loudly. He seemed very nervous and looked around from time to time. Unfortunately, no one was listening to them at this time because the sound of building houses was louder than their voices. There were 2 houses that needed beams. A group of people were shouting and carrying the wood. Their voices were both loud and soft, like a mix of harmonies covering their voices. Dream-chasing Taoist looked at Feng Changgong helplessly and said with a sigh, "This may not be a place to preach Taoism. It's better to travel on the cloud." His meaning was very clear. "I'm busy here for nothing. You can't do this either. No one is looking at you at all. You'd better give me the money I deserve, and I'll continue to wander around elsewhere." Feng Changgong was also very uncomfortable. He was more puzzled. When he came yesterday, there were people greeting him. Why was there no sound today? What was the difference? How could he know? When he came here yesterday and went back and forth, he greeted people. However, when he had dinner in the evening, he found that those who greeted him worked slower than others. Just a little slower. The person in charge here didn't need Zhang Xiaobao, and Wang wanted to tell him personally. He was already unhappy. When he went to sleep at night, he went to each tent and told them that they should work hard when it was time to work. Otherwise, they shouldn't be paid and shouldn't eat the food provided by others. This morning, he told the same thing to the people who went home last night. Therefore, no one cared about other things today. They were busy with their own work so that they could be worthy of the wages and good food. Seeing that no one responded, Feng Changgong looked at the registrar and the county magistrate anxiously, meaning that they should think of a way. The registrar, who was usually very smart, responded to the county magistrate's look with a blank face at this time. He meant, "Why are you looking at me? I'm not the person in charge of the site." Just when Feng Changgong had an impulse to strangle the registrar, the county magistrate took action. He went straight to the workplace in front of them and said to those who still didn't look at him, "The county magistrate has brought a powerful Taoist master here. Do you want to see him? Hurry up. The Taoist master chasing dream is very powerful." After shouting, he waited for people to come over and ask, but this time, he was destined to fail. The people working had clearly heard him, but no one moved a muscle. It was not that they didn't want to be seen by the Taoist master, but they were afraid that they would delay the work and be driven away by others. Then they wouldn't be paid. It's over, they're all finished. They don't even know how big of a disaster they provoked. If there were other fellow Taoists here, we might have been able to help them. What a pity! What a pity that so many lives have been lost. The Taoist master chasing Dream felt that he was treated coldly, so his words were not polite and were very vicious. Anyway, those who heard it felt uncomfortable. You're right. I'll ask the bailiffs to bring them here and let them know where they're going to end up. Someone, go and call everyone here. Since the first plan failed, Feng Changgong came up with another one. This time it was tougher. Just as the Yamen runners were about to brace themselves and call for her, a voice suddenly sounded. Fellow cultivator, may I know where you are from? Are you for Dragon Tiger Mountain? I heard that there are many fake Taoist priests there. Oh, my Taoist name is Roma. Feng Changgong and the others looked in the direction of the voice and saw a Taoist priest standing there. This Taoist priest looked more like a Taoist priest than the Taoist master chasing Dream. His white hair was tied up in a bun with a wooden hairpin. He was wearing linen clothes and a pair of shoes with thousand-layer soles. In his hand was a horsetail whisk with the same silvery white hair. 3 strands of whiskers hung down for more than 2 feet. His face was full of wrinkles, but his complexion was rosy. 2 long white eyebrows went down his cheeks and stopped at the line at the tip of his nose. He looked at them with slightly opened eyes, as if he had seen through everything in the world of mortals. His eyes were filled with pity, helplessness, and wisdom. This Taoist priest is used to traveling. So you're a fellow Taoist roaming. This Taoist priest's Taoist name is Dream Chasing Dream. We are fated. May I know where you are from? Dream Chasing Dream wanted to say that he was from Mount Longhu, but when he heard that the people from Mount Longhu were all liars, he could only change his words and ask about the other party's identity. The new Taoist priest narrowed his eyes and said with a sigh, "This Taoist priest is from Mount Longhu. Unfortunately, recently, many people have been using the name of the mountain to cheat everywhere. This Taoist priest is ashamed to speak. Speaking of which, this Taoist priest knows all the 108 Taoist priests of Mount Longhu. However, this Taoist priest has never seen many of them who claim to be from Mount Longhu. Do you think they are shameless?" Rumung seemed to be very sad. After saying that, he sighed again. With a flip of his hand, a compass appeared. In the other hand, Wei Wei moved. The horsetail whisk suddenly disappeared and turned into a pen. Then a cloud of green smoke rose. With a boom, many talismans appeared on Rumung's body. This time, all the workers stopped and looked at the new Taoist in a daze. It was really too amazing. Even Feng Changgong and the others opened their eyes wide and had a look of disbelief. Dream Chasing Dream moved his hand, but he couldn't figure out how the other party changed. It was too fake for such a big horsetail whisk to disappear just like that. He didn't think that the other party was a real immortal. He always felt that the other party had a special method. If there weren't so many people watching, he really wanted to go over and ask for advice. If he learned it, wouldn't he have a way to make money again? Just as everyone was in a daze, Dream Chasing Dream held the compass in his hand and walked in a small circle twice. Then he said, "That's not right. This is not an ordinary place." When Dream Chasing Dream heard his words, he was happy and quickly said, "That's right. This Taoist priest also found that this place is not right, but no one listened to me. This Taoist priest thinks that this place belongs to the southwest. It is the time to offend the celestial wolf." After saying that, he looked at the other party. He thought that the other party was like him and wanted to cheat some money. In this way, the other party would naturally cooperate with him. Feng Changgong also had a look of hope on his face. He hoped that the other party could also scare others. This was a powerful move. Everyone else had stopped, but as long as he said a word, he might be able to make them leave. The registrar at the side couldn't figure it out. He looked around in confusion and was about to move forward to see what was going on. Dream Chasing Dream suddenly shook his head and said, "That's not right. Fellow Taoist, it seems that your skills are not good enough, but you can't mislead the world. This place did not offend the celestial wolf, but a fish spirit who wanted to cause trouble here. Do you think so?" As Dream Chasing Dream spoke, he had already walked to the riverside. His eyes looked at the flowing water with a very serious expression. The hearts of the surrounding people also rose. They felt that this new Taoist priest was much more powerful than the previous one. At the very least, the changes back and forth were not something that the previous Taoist priest could compare to. Xiao Bao, I think that Li Sun is really burying his talent by being a duke. I told him once yesterday and asked him to contact him. I didn't expect him to perform so well today. He should be shooting movies. He's clearly a natural actor. Wang Wan, who was hiding elsewhere, whispered to Zhang Xiaobao. After saying that, she covered her mouth and laughed. Zhang Xiaobao also had a look of admiration on his face. He also didn't expect Li Sun to be able to play his role so well. That day, when Li Sun had just arrived, he had thought that he was suitable to be a businessman. Today, it seemed that his real profession was definitely not a businessman. Of course, he was not an actor either. He was a swindler. When he thought of this, he said, I think I have a successor. No, I have to nurture him well and nurture him into a powerful person. You really think that being a swindler is an honor? You even want to trick Li Sun. Look, Li Sun is about to perform. He's going to scare them to death. Wang Wan leaned her head on Zhang Xiaobao's shoulder and said with a smile. This time, Daoist Dreamer really had a new move. With a move of his hand, the front of the pen that looked like a judge's pen opened up like a lotus flower. He muttered something and suddenly stomped his feet together. After landing, he shook his head and sighed. This fish has already become a spirit. I wonder if fellow Daoist Dream Chaser can subdue it? Subdue my ass. Where did this fish spirit come from? There's no such thing. He just refuted me. And now he wants me to cooperate? Dream on. Daoist Dream Chaser thought and shook his head. Fellow Daoist, you must have seen wrongly. Where did this fish spirit come from? He clearly offended the celestial wolf. Feng Changgong also echoed. That's right. He offended the celestial wolf. Daoist, you'd better hurry up and do other things. Feng Changgong wanted to chase him away. However, Daoist Dream Chaser let out a long sigh and didn't explain. He spun the judge's pen in his hand twice and pointed at the river. Hey, demon, hurry up and die. As soon as his voice fell, a burst of smoke came out of the judge's pen in his hand. Without waiting for the smoke to dissipate, a pillar of water suddenly rose up from the river with a bang. With a splash, a 5-foot-long fish fell to the ground. You're tuning into the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.